What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? I know what time it is. This is your weekly AI tech news with Cyrus and my lovely, intelligent, brilliant co host, Ash, the queen of AI herself. Want to know first and foremost where everybody is tuning in from, what it is you do in the tech industry, or what it is you're looking to do in the tech industry, whether you're looking to be a founder or you are a tech founder or you're in tech sales, cybersecurity, whatever that is. We are curious to know who you are, where you're from, what you have going on, and what you have planned for in the future. And so as we are getting started, we got a lot of amazing tech news to cover today. So for those of y'all that are new here, we're going to cover topics that are ranging from things that are happening when it comes to tech as it relates to politics, as it relates to AI, robotics, and a variety of other subjects and topics. So want to know from you all in the comments in the chat, what is the craziest piece of tech news you've heard about this week or recently? Let us know in the comments. And if it's interesting enough, it just might be something that we'll be able to cover for you all today. And so, for those of you that are looking to be able to scale in the tech industry, you're looking to have revenue or get some certain type of money. We do have funding. We've been providing funding with a partner that we've collaborated with. It's a funding company that's been providing funding for over 10 years now. And so, for those that are interested in the funding, all you have to do is look at the description below. You can select the time to apply for the funding and speak with the team, see if you qualify. And so all you have to do is just select that and be able to qualify. If you're doing personal funding, then just do it through your personal information, whatever. If it's business funding, of course, you are able to get more. So the funding is between 50,000 to up to $300,000. Some people, literally yesterday, only one person got only $40,000, which is very rare. It's the lowest I've seen so far for people that we recommended. Most people we've seen are getting between $80,000 to $100,000, but business owners, on average, from what I'm seeing, people that are applying through their LLC for the funding are getting between $150,000 and $200,000. I will be interviewing somebody soon. I'm going to start interviewing people at least once a week who've gotten funding, but specifically people who've gotten funding and they're doing something unique with their money to invest it into something that's going to make them that should be making them more money. So that way you can see different examples of people. That being said, Ash, you tell people a little bit about yourself so that way they could be able to tap in with you, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the news today.
Yeah, hey guys, happy to be here on this Saturday. As you guys already know, my name is Ash, AI Solutions Specialist, helping people transition and enhance their skills with AI and artificial intelligence, and also wearable technology startup founder with smart rings and smart glasses. So I'm excited to be here. We have some crazy news topics to talk about as always. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into it.
Hey, super excited. See, we got people popping up in the chat. So I'm excited. NC Worker. Good afternoon, everyone. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Also, we got some automation set up on YouTube. We got different technology automation set up. So for those of you on YouTube that are interested in the funding, all you'll need to do is comment. What is this you're supposed to comment? I have to tell you later what to comment because I actually can't even think about it. I think it's AI funding. I think is what you're supposed to comment. AI funding is what you're supposed to comment. And I'm pretty sure I have the automation set up. My team set it up. So shouts out to the Tech is a New Black team. Let me put my AirPods in. Cool. And then yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. All right, good stuff. So from a goat farm to OpenAI's $250 billion empire, Sam Altman believes we are living through the next renaissance. So in a bold new statement, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman declared that today's AI is reaching genius-level intelligence with systems capable of reasoning, planning, and adapting at superhuman speeds. He envisions a future where AI unlocks human creativity like never before, but he also issued a warning. As people increasingly form emotional bonds with AI agents, dependency could pose real social and psychological risks. Sam Altman compares this moment in history to the Renaissance, but powered by Silicon Valley instead of paint and philosophy. With OpenAI's tools being embedded in in everything from coding to companionship, the line between human and machine brilliance is blurring fast. He's very bullish on the future, but cautious about its consequences. AI isn't just smart now, it's becoming sentient like it's becoming sentient like in its interactions. Want to know from you all, do you believe that AI technology, as much as we love it, as much as we, excited about it, do we truly believe Sam Altman's statements? Because when he makes these statements where he says, and honestly, I want to ask y'all from both sides. When he makes a statement where he says that the AI, the technology, first off, he's saying that it's currently reaching genius level intellect. But then on the flip side, he also mentions the warning, where he's warning people against being completely codependent on it. He's warning people about the risk, the psychological risks that are there. What all type of psychological risks have y'all been seeing, or do y'all think is possible when we're talking about everything that's happening with AI? I'm gonna be real. Personally, when I hear his statements about him, I feel like he was prefacing this with what he really wanted to say. So he started off saying, "Oh, it's amazing. We're in a Renaissance era. It's so beautiful. It's so amazing." But then he flipped it and said, "Oh, but by the way, don't become codependent on it. By the way, there are a lot of psychological risks." I almost feel like that's what he really wanted to say. That's what he really wanted to talk about. But obviously, he didn't want his stock prices to drop with OpenAI. He didn't want people to say, "Oh, wow, the founder of OpenAI, the person who is the face of the AI boom, is basically telling us we should fear AI." Of course, he didn't want to just come out and say that. So I feel as if he wanted to preface what he really wanted to say by sugarcoating it, making it look cute, making it sound cute. When in reality, I believe what he truly wanted to say was the second part, which is saying, "Hey, look, y'all, stop falling in love with AI. Stop just giving your entire life over to it." To me, it's giving the same energy as, I don't know if anybody's seen, let me know in the chat if any of you are aware that most social media founders and most social media executives, whether we're talking Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, any platform you name, most social media executives don't allow their children to have social media pages. They don't allow their children to have social media pages even up until like their high school years. And when this was revealed, it's like, whoa, y'all literally run social media. Y'all created social media. Why would you not allow your children to be on these platforms? And it's because they're aware of the psychological damages these platforms have on most people, even on adults, let alone on brains that are still underdeveloped, being developed. So actually, my real question to you all, do you believe AI poses a greater psychological risk to people than social media does? That's really the question that I have. And so Ash, I actually kick that over to you, because we've never discussed the potential harm psychologically of AI. We talked about people committing or people unaliving themselves because they've fallen in love with AI. We talked about the benefits, and we've talked about some risks, but we've never discussed the potential psychological threats. Do you believe there are psychological threats, or do you believe AI is going to find a way to be addictive without harming us psychologically?
Yeah, this is a great question. So, as of now, presently in this reality, artificial intelligence does pose a significant threat because of the fact that it is so hyper personalized. So, like you said, people are, getting to know artificial intelligence. They're practicing with these systems, whether it's OpenAI's chatbot, Gemini, Claude, etc. And so there is a lot of room for discussion around regulation. So we heard about this instance as of last year where a kid, I think he was around like 16 or something like that, 15, 16, who unalived himself because he fell in love with artificial intelligence bot. So with this, I do believe that artificial intelligence is going to open us up more as humans so that perhaps we could become more humanistic. But at the same time, there is that concern to where we're going to, like you said, fall in love with artificial intelligence. But I think that's something that's more so inevitable just because, we're going to eventually have robots where people are going to be replacing their wives and husbands and um, babysitters, everybody with, robots. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to know from y'all in the comments in the chat. We got a few more people that popped in. We got always good afternoon, everyone. Glad to catch you live. Hey, glad to have you here with us. And then inboxing, peace, brothers and sisters. Peace be with you. All right, so Ash, we can go ahead and kick it over to you for the next piece of news.
All right, so I'm going to kind of piggyback off of the topic that Cyrus discussed because, everything is changing right now. And we want to talk about how AI is either contributing to human creativity or is it becoming something where we're all relying on it and becoming less intelligent. So with that, studies indicate that 30%, that's actually going to be a 30% decline in human creative thinking over the past 5 years. So this is correlating with increased reliance on AI. So covering the exact topic that Cyrus just mentioned. So not only for problem solving, but also decision making. So these experts, of course, are warning us over this overdependence. And so it's a concern that it's eroding human intelligence and cognitive abilities. So I guess it's kind of like the same news topic. However, I would like to say personally that I think that AI is going to make us more creative. So for those of us that are already specialists in our respective fields, then AI is going to be able to enhance that. But at the same time, those developing minds, so the children or the teenagers, these are the people who need to be protected at this time. But at the same time, everyday humans are also going to perhaps be at a risk of, falling in love with artificial intelligence or using it for something that's not necessarily constructive. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to a new news topic, something more interesting. Okay, so over 400 prominent figures in the UK's creative space, including music artists like Paul McCartney, Dua Lipa, and Elton John, have signed an open letter urging the Prime Minister Keir Starmer to support stronger copyright protections. So this is opposing proposed government plans allowing AI companies to use copyright protected material without permission. So this is emphasizing the threat to creative livelihoods and the UK's status as a creative leader. So all of these artists, Dua Lipa, Elton John, they're saying, look, we're creators and we want ownership over what we build and create. So I'm interested to see what you guys think. Do you think it should be an open market, or do you think that artificial intelligence should be controlled in this way? What do you think, Cyrus?
It's so interesting because artistry is such an interesting topic because like they're business owners. Artists are business owners in every right, in every sense of it. But art itself is supposed to be something that inspires. It's supposed to be something that like helps people elevate, helps humanity elevate, helps humanity feel something, think different, evolve in a certain type of way. And so on one end, I completely understand artists wanting to keep AI and technology away from what they're doing. But two thoughts on it. One, I feel that artists that aren't going to, I believe it's wiser, and y'all let me know if y'all agree or disagree in the chat and why. I believe it's wiser for artists to not try to fight against the wave. I believe it's smarter for them to think creatively about a way that AI and technology can make them more successful. For example, an actor, because an actor is an artist. I know we're talking about music artists, but an actor is also an artist. They're in the thespian space, or they are a thespian. An actor who says like Scarlett Johansson, where she said, "Yeah, I don't want to allow AI to replicate my voice." Scarlett Johansson she has a very sexy voice. Like her voice is very attractive and warm. And in reality, these artists are not artists solely because of the passion and the love. They are artists because they want money. It's a business for them. I believe it's smarter for them to sell their likeness to AI companies and allow AI companies to use their likeness in such a capacity that they're able to, as an artist, make money passively, make money without working. Because artists, the only way an artist makes money without working, aside from, act like traditional business ventures, is when they're doing something like producing a movie. Like they put their own money down on the movie. They put a few notes in, but they really produce a movie. They put some money down in it and allow the director and the rest of the producers and executive producers to actually produce the movie and put the movie on. Outside of that, I believe it's brilliant for a popular artist, whether we're talking a music artist, a thespian. I believe it's a smart business practice for them to look at AI, look at technology, and say, yo, instead of me saying, no, you can't use my likeness, you can't copy me, how about I give you my likeness? Because let's be real, actors start to age out of roles and out of positions. That's something that is very common. They age out of roles and positions. I believe it's brilliant for an actor to say, hey, in my prime, if there are roles that I can no longer do because technically I am too old for it. I mean, look at what they're already doing in a lot of Marvel movies, where they're taking older actors and then they're de-aging them. It's still the same actor, but they're de-aging them because of the de-aging technology. They've been doing this now for the past, they started doing it about 10 years ago, especially movies like the Ant-Man movies and others where they have older popular actors and actresses where they do a flashback of when they were younger and they have technology that de-ages them. Now, why do they have to do technology that de-ages them? It's because those actors are older now. I believe it's smarter. The actors are already allowing certain technology. I believe it's a wise business practice for them to say, okay, I'm going to allow you to use my likeness, but every time you use it, whether it's in a movie, whether it's my voice, whatever it is, or it's a commercial, whatever it is, I get 60, 70% of the revenue that's generated. I believe that's just smart business practice. Shouts out to, I probably shouldn't say shouts out to her, but, one of Elon Musk's 20 baby mamas, I believe his most recent, not his most recent, that would be a lie. I don't know what his most recent is. But the one where they have a child with a really weird name. The child is like a bunch of weird letters and numbers and stuff like that. You're on mute, Ashley. You're on mute right now.
You talking about Grimes?
Yes, Grimes. Yeah, I should have said the only one that's a music artist. That's what I should have said. Grimes, one of Elon Musk's 20 baby mamas, Grimes struck a deal like that, where she said, hey, if y'all want to use my music, my likeness, you pay me a percentage. I believe artists that are trying to fight against AI, they're either going to lose right now or they're going to lose in 10 years. Because there's no way that forever, because the world is about to evolve in a freakishly crazy way. We are, 10 years from now, we are going to be living in a sci-fi world. 15 years from now, there won't be jobs. Like people won't be saying, oh, I'm going to work. Like that won't be like we're really going to live in a dystopian hopefully a utopian future where things are going to be very different. People that are trying to keep things traditional, they're not, I don't think they're going to be able to do that. Not for long. Not for long. So I believe it's
Right.
smarter for them to think of creative ways that they can take advantage of the opportunity instead of saying, no, I'm not going to allow this to happen. Because what's going to happen is eventually AI artists are going to start to become popular. And then what's going to happen is the regular artists are going to say, how come no one wants to listen to my music anymore? They just want to listen to this AI crap. Or how come no one wants to watch my movies anymore? They just want to watch movies with AI. And then at that point, they're going to be trying to sell themselves to these AI companies. And the AI companies are probably going to say, yeah, no, we're not interested. I believe they need to hop on the wave now and stop trying to put their noses up and think like, we're not going to do that because they're missing a major opportunity. Again, my opinion on the topic.
That's definitely valid. So we're between human democratization to where it's going to be fair and equal so that everyone has ownership over their own creative processes, or the alternative, like Cyrus is saying, to where it's going to be a sort of open source model to where like anybody is going to be able to use your likeness. However, you're going to be able to be compensated for that. I think it's important to realize that artificial intelligence is going to continue to evolve, like Cyrus said, so it's going to become more advanced. However, when we were speaking earlier towards just like people falling in love with artificial intelligence and how crazy that gets, like it's still at an LLM stage. So artificial intelligence, the output is going to be based on the input itself. So it's getting to know you, your personality, and so it's not something that is, quite alive just yet. It's not conscious, it's not sentient. And so we have to keep that in mind. It is for now just a tool, however, it is continually evolving.
It's getting pretty crazy. It is getting pretty crazy. I was at a gym yesterday. Y'all know I'm in Colombia, South America, and I was in a gym yesterday with an older guy who he works in tech, and I do that because he's really a project manager. You can be a project manager in any type of industry, but he was telling me he's an older guy. Sometimes when people are older, so the same thing happens with younger people. Sometimes younger people think that, okay, because someone's older, whatever wisdom they have is stupid. It doesn't matter because they're older. They don't know how the times are today. Younger people make that mistake. A mistake that older people sometimes tend to make is to not realize that the world is changing and it's not going to go back to how they think things were. And so we were talking, and he made a statement about, basically kind of saying, yeah, when things go back to normal, when things go back to normal. And I was like, what are you talking about when things go back to normal? And he was saying, like, yeah, when things go back to normal. And I was like, things are never going back to normal. And so I was telling him about, universal basic income. I was telling him about what's about to happen to the world. And he said, that's never going to happen. They're never going to allow that to happen because, I mean, there's no way all jobs and all this stuff in the next 10, 15 years is going to be gone because it just can't happen. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, so you think the AI and the robotics, the whole evolution we're seeing, you think it's just going to stop? They're just going to say, never mind. We changed our minds. We're going to go a different direction. I was like, you think all of this is just fluff? And it's kind of one of those things where I looked at him and I was like, man, I think part of it is also because he lives in Colombia. And for anybody that lives outside of certain countries and you're not heavily involved on social media, specifically, you're not watching content that's AI related. I think there are still some people in this world who, because they're not following certain things on social media, or they're not fully tuned in, especially if they live outside of regions where everyone is talking about technology and you can see the technology, there's this sense where some of them think this is a joke or something, or they think it's just a cute phase. I personally thought we were past the point of people still thinking it's a phase. Like Let me know in the comments if I'm tripping. Let me know in the chat. Does anybody here think that this is a phase? And if you do, like, I'm not gonna shade you or anything like that. But I mean, let me know, like, and not even you, let me know in general, like where all of you are from, where you're from, your friends, your family, your coworkers. Do you all know anybody who's still believing that this AI, robotics, all of this stuff is something that's gonna go away? Is the guy that I spoke with yesterday the only person, or are there other people y'all know who still? Because I could have understood a year and a half ago,
Yeah.
but at this point, I personally thought it was like unanimously or universally accepted that, hey, this AI robot, like this stuff is taking over everything, and we're never going back to how times used to be. Yeah, Destiny Bryant says absolutely not. I think the world is never going to be the same. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. I see we got some other comments from people commenting on the other topics that Ash was talking about. Destiny Bryant, good afternoon, Cyrus and Ash. I love the idea of AI, but having a vast amount of information in the palms of our hands is a detriment to all.
That's valid.
Got
However, it could also be a positive. So the fact that we have access to these large aggregate data sets that are going to allow us to cure any disease or ailment, I'd say that's a positive. However, just like you said, it depends on whose hands that it's going to be in. So is the individual ethical? Are they in alliance with or in alignment with these regulations and laws? I think that the major players are going to be like Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, the Jensen Huang, the CEO and founder of NVIDIA. So it's definitely getting crazy out here, but just like Cyrus said, it is inevitable. So a lot of people are afraid of what's coming. And so fear breeds this kind of environment of being not open, or instead just kind of being closed off to the reality of what's coming. But yeah, this is going to be inevitable, and it's only going to continue to evolve. So like we always talk about, now we're getting into like AGI and artificial superintelligence. So now we're developing a being that's more intelligent and capable than human beings. And so what does that look like? We'll see in the next couple of years. But yeah, we can't stick our heads in the sand. And it's like the fact that anybody would think that AI is going away that's kind of crazy to think about. But I'll let you read this one out, Cyrus.
So we got, maybe AI is turning into Mumamu. I'm not even sure what Mumamu is. Mumamu, like from Doctor Strange. I believe AI is going to be next level right now. I do feel it's going to impact humanity, both positive and negative. It's just up to us.
Yes.
Yeah, these are some scary times. Some scary times. Some very interesting times we're in. Like, what a shift! What a shift is happening. It's so crazy, honestly. And yeah, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like right now, my entire focus is on finding solutions that people can make money, even like with AI and technology, with or without jobs. Because again, I said this recently on a podcast, and I might have said this on here before. We're in the last year to at max 2 years of entry-level tech jobs even being available. Obviously, in my personal opinion, software engineering is cooked. Not meaning that you can't get a job as a software engineer right now, but this year, I strongly believe, is the last year of entry-level software engineering. I truly believe that. And I believe software engineering, for the most part, is cooked. Met a girl a few days ago. Instagram met a girl. She was posting a lot of different stuff at different tech conferences, and I thought she was already in the industry. She actually is graduating college this year as a software engineer, or graduating from computer science degree. And I was like, "Oh, what do you plan on doing once you finish?" And she was like, "Oh, getting a job as a software engineer." And I was like, "You're going to all of these conferences and you don't see the writing on the wall. And so I truly believe, and I've said this before, like one thing I do know for a fact, this is personally my last year helping people get in the tech industry. It just has to be, because we have job placement assistance, we have all of these pieces, but it's like at some point AI is going to start coming for everything. And that actually kind of falls in line with the next piece of news. The next piece of news that I have is actually from a company that used to be a dishwashing company. So from dishwasher to disruptor, Dicer AI is reshaping hiring and e-commerce. So a former dishwasher just 8x hiring success using autonomous AI agents, and it's not stopping there. So Paul Chan's startup Decider is turning heads with AI agents that are revolutionizing both recruitment and e-commerce. Originally, it was created to help businesses make faster decisions. The platform now autonomously screens job candidates, matching them 8 times more accurately than traditional methods. In retail, these agents adapt to user behavior in real time, doubling online order rates. Now, the founder's journey started off scrubbing dishes, and that's what he was doing before, but now he's becoming a leading AI innovator. And this is a powerful reminder of tech's democratizing force. Now, these AI agents are not just reactive, they're also learning and evolving, acting like true employees. So they're screening people when it comes to jobs, but even as they're screening people, they're using the screening as education. So, for example, a lot of different AI models that are out here they're not actively getting smarter. It's like they're like, if you ask it a question, a lot of them will give you an answer, but it's not actively getting smarter as well. What most companies are doing, they're taking the data and then they separately parse data and choose, in many occasions, not all occasions, but in many occasions, they're choosing which data they're going to allow to help their AI become smarter or better. But what Decider is doing is, because it's in a specific niche, a specific lane, kind of similar to Tesla vehicles, the AI is working, it also is evolving. So it's like us, but obviously it's able to evolve significantly faster. So this AI, we already see, for those who don't know, let me know in the chat if y'all are aware of this or not. Whenever there are hiring freezes or mass layoffs, one of the first industries, or one of the industries that gets heavily impacted, is HR. Recruiters and screeners, people that are doing job screenings, or talent sourcers. Because when you're not hiring, why do you need recruiters and talent sourcers if you're not hiring a lot? So what a lot of companies do, I have friends that have their own recruitment businesses where they don't work for a tech company. They are one individual who different companies consult with them, where they do recruitment, talent sourcing for the company. Now, why would a company, let me know in the chat why you think a company, instead of a company having their own recruiters and talent sourcers, why would they hire or outsource a recruiter? The reason why is because companies don't like posting news about layoffs. They don't like doing that. So instead, they find a way to contract people. They contract someone, so that way either when the contract ends, or when they decide to let the person go, they don't have to announce layoffs or firing, because that wasn't a layoff or a firing. That was a separate contractor. And so my friends that are recruiters that have their own recruitment agencies, They're doing contract work with these companies solely because the companies don't want to have to announce a layoff or a firing. And of course, they don't want to provide insurance and other stuff as well. So understand this AI provides it provides a constant recruiter, screener, all of that. It provides all of that for a company without the company having to have a contract or having to be a contractor, without the company having to employ them, and without the company having to announce layoffs. So whenever a company decides, hey, we're not hiring, they could literally just turn off the AI or stop using their AI. And
Yeah.
so we see that happening. HR, talent sourcers, that's another space that I don't think is going to come back. I don't think we're not gonna see a resurgence or a boom in that space again. So again, and I'm saying this to say, y'all, we need to be picky and choosy about what tech industries we're pursuing or we're going after. And so, yeah, I'll just kind of leave it there. We got a few comments, but also I want to hear from Ash as well.
Yeah, so this is a perfect topic as a previous senior recruiter at PwC PricewaterhouseCoopers. So with that, I recently saw a video where there were live interviews with the AI, and the artificial intelligence system that was interviewing these individuals was malfunctioning multiple times. So typically, the process could be seamless if they're just, asking general questions, analyzing the responses, etc. However, there is going to be that inevitable give and take and testing period to where we're going to have to get it perfect. Now, what recruiters do best is the humanistic communication. So the fact that now we're taking that all away and just replacing it with AI, it kind of breeds the question, what exactly type of work environment does that create if we're having a more so hands-off humanistic aspect of it? So obviously, human connection, psychology, understanding how the mind works, that's important. And it's going to be essential for developing really conscious AI systems, which is going to be important, of course, for analyzing the data and information that they are receiving. However, when it comes to recruiting and relying 100% on the AI recruiter, I would say that there is inevitably going to be a give and take. But these days, now instead of having to hire massive departments, so like Cyrus was saying, there's not going to be any more HR department, engineering department, their time is limited as well. Almost every department, as a matter of fact, is inevitably going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. So everybody needs to learn skills on top of what they already know and enhance them with artificial intelligence. So Cyrus's programs is perfect, positioning everyone to be able to build with different startups or business ideas. So everybody right now, they have different areas of specialization and value that they can bring to the market. So instead of just sitting back and saying, okay, we're just gonna let AI take over, and then when UBI comes, everyone's gonna be fine. You know what I say, don't just lie down and accept the fact that you're going to lose your job, because it is inevitable. However, it's going to require the steps of adaptation. At this point, is going to be adapt or die. So you could be a singular person, just like Cyrus was saying. Headhunters, there's a reason why they make the big money. Headhunters can make over $1 million, based on their placements per year. So that in itself could be enhanced by being an artificially intelligent, or let's say an AI powered headhunter. So you can automate the entire process. You're just one person making $1 million a year, no team. So AI is making everything easier than ever for us. However, there is going to be inevitable technical difficulties, which we're going to have to get around via testing. My question is, Cyrus, have you ever been interviewed by an AI, or do you feel comfortable with that? And you guys, let me know in the chat, would you want to be interviewed by an artificial intelligence? Has that happened for you? What do you think?
Yeah, so I've not just been interviewed by AI. We actually have Tech is New Black white labels technology. I've never promoted this or mentioned this, but we white label technology where it's AI that interviews you. But the AI doesn't just interview you; it critiques how you're interviewing. It gives you feedback and tells you what to work on in your interview, from your posture to the way you're speaking, body language, the way you're answering questions, if you're answering the questions accurately enough. Like all of it. And so, yeah, the technology is here. I mean, shouts out to Rightsy. I was over here pulling it up. Rightsy. I'm friends with the founders of Rightsy. If anybody knows about Rightsy in the chat, Rightsy is the founders are two young Black guys. They were recently featured about a year ago in Yahoo Finance. They closed the deal recently with Meta. They just closed the deal with Meta, and they closed some other really huge deal with. They closed a really huge deal with like different universities and some other stuff. But long story short, their technology, they're giving their technology away to different companies that are using it for talent sourcing for a very similar reason, to find talent. And so the technology is here. It's here, and like Ash said, it's not perfect, but it's getting better. I mean, we all saw how bad AI pictures and videos looked a year and a half ago, and where every AI person had like 7 fingers, and versus how it's looking now. What's crazy, I saw a post a couple of days ago. In the post, it was a post with Logan Paul. Y'all know the Paul brothers. It was a post with Logan Paul, where Logan Paul was on a podcast with a guy, and the guy asked Logan Paul about a beef between 2 other mega influencers. He said, "Yeah, you know how this person made that video talking trash about this person, right?" Logan Paul said, "Yeah, that was pretty crazy." He said, "You know that was AI, right?" Logan Paul said, "No, it wasn't." The guy said, "Yes, it was." And then they showed the video. Even on Instagram, when you watch the video, I was like, "This is AI," and it was AI. Literally, a beef started between 2 major influencers because one of the major influencers saw an AI of the other one talking trash about them and thought it was real. And even other people in the influencer industry thought it was real. And so, and then even when I watched the video knowing it was AI, and I had to watch it 3 times to detect it was AI. I said, "That was AI?" I was like, "Whoa." And so it's gotten so good. A year from now, maybe 6 months from now, it's not going to be, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. And so the technology, it's not perfect, but it's getting better. I personally believe a year from now, 2 years from now, it's going to be so good that it'll be shocking to notice that it's AI. That'll be the thing where it's like, it'll be shocking to notice that it's AI. I believe it's going to be so good, especially if we talk about movies and music, that anything that's human made is going to be the flaws. Like you're going to know something is human because it has flaws in it.
Right.
It's going to be crazy. Right now we know AI because we're like, "Oh, I can tell it's AI because it's doing something that's not natural." I believe the opposite. I believe we're going to know something is human because it's going to be so imperfect. We're going to be like, "No, that has to be human because it wasn't perfect."
Right.
And so, or maybe AI is going to still even copy that, because if any of y'all have heard the call centers, the AI call centers with Google and others, the AI does things when it's an AI call center agent where it'll pause, it'll go, it'll smack its teeth. It does everything that's so natural, human. So I don't know. And again, the goal of today's episode is not doom and gloom. We're not here to say doom and gloom, everything's over. But again, it's to point us and our community towards what to do, what to avoid, what's next, what to invest in, what to pursue. And so Muhammad says, "Do you think AI will make its way to Battlefield someday?" It's already there right now. Yeah, it's definitely already there. It's already there. Now it's not controlling battles, but it's definitely there. And eventually we are going to see a day and age where battles, you're going to see humans in a room where they're going to be watching the AI. Like, think about drones right now. How right now most of the bombs and things that are being dropped are being done by drones, because a drone is a lot cheaper than a helicopter.
Yeah.
So if a drone is a lot cheaper, and a drone is a lot smaller and harder to detect. And so getting a drone shot down is not as bad as getting a helicopter shot down, because even if a drone gets shot down, you're not shooting down a human being, and you're not shooting down millions of dollars worth of equipment. A drone, even a drone with certain bombs on it, maybe costs about $50,000 to $100,000 max. Versus you're talking a helicopter, you're talking now something that's like at least $500,000 to a few $1,000,000 plus one or two people in the helicopter.
Right.
And so drones are already there. Eventually they're going to be fully AI controlled, to where there's not going to be a person manually controlling the drone. They'll have a target, and then the drones will go out there the same way that self-driving cars use LiDAR technology to spot the difference between a stop sign, a stoplight, a person versus, a green light. The technology likewise is going to be spotting targets and spotting who's an insurgent or who's an enemy or who's potentially an enemy. And it's going to drop a bomb on someone that says, yep, I determined this is an enemy. I should drop a bomb on this person. And so that's not much different than what's happening with Aurora right now, Waymo, where they're having self-driving cars, self-driving semi-trucks. Those self-driving semi-trucks could do as much damage as dropping a bomb on a small city. And we're talking like pileups and all the wreckage that can happen on the highway. So if we're allowing in America, on our own soil, self-driving semi-trucks, one piece of news we're not going to cover, but one piece of news that I had a topic for us to talk about is Aurora, who's the company that has the self-driving semi-trucks with no humans even on board, like not even a human there in case the AI acts up. Aurora just started doing nighttime driving. So the Aurora is having their semi trucks starting to drive at nighttime now. So if we're allowing this in America, we're definitely going to allow AI drones and other AI technology in other countries that are enemies of ours. A great comment. Someone said, "What about QA?" So manual QA is cooked. Don't go after manual QA. You're going to need to do QA engineering, QA automation, QA with AI. That's what you need to pursue, because we teach QA in our program, but our program is fully exhaustive. So you learn everything in QA. So I tell all of our students that are in QA, do not go after. If there's a manual QA job opening, okay, you can go after it, but don't market yourself as a manual QA person. So QA, I would give entry-level roles for QA. Entry-level roles, same thing. I give that 2 years max. 2 years max. So if you're looking to get in QA right now, get in now. Get in this year. I give it 2 years max. SDR for tech sales, I give SDR roles 2 years max. 2 years max. I have used technology where it's AI that does the work of an SDR. It's really good in terms of cold calling, in terms of setting up appointments with the account executive. It's freakishly good. Freakishly good. It's so good. We had because I used it temporarily, we had our AI tell people it was AI. It said, "Hey, I'm an AI team member with Tech is the New Black." People were like, "Whoa," we listened back to the call. They're like, "You're not a real person?" It's like, "No, I'm not." And they would laugh. It's good. So SDR, I give it 1-2 years max. I say it like this: entry-level tech roles. If you're a person where you're thinking about getting in tech, that needs to stop. Because honestly, I said a year from now, I'm not going to be promoting getting in tech anymore. I think that should tell y'all something. My entire brand has been Get in Tech. I'm literally telling you, yo, I'm gonna shift my brand in about a year. It's still gonna be tech related. It's still gonna be tech industry, but it's gonna be something else. Still something to help people. But it's like at that point, it won't be about getting in the tech industry anymore. I'm literally gonna be saying, people are gonna be coming to me saying, "How do I get in tech?" I'm like, too late. I'm gonna tell people that. I'm gonna tell them that. I'm sorry, you should have watched my content before. If you are in college to get in tech and you're not graduating this year, you better do something else on the side to get in tech. Um, anyway, let's get to some of the comments. Oh, y'all going in the comments. Hey there, Cyrus. What do you have to say about jailbreaks and AI? What do you mean by jailbreaks in AI? You mean someone jailbreaking the AI?
Yeah, so it can do basically anything outside of its normal programming. It's like a hack.
I think that's cool. I think that's cool. Of course, it's dangerous. It's a risk. It's a threat. Yeah, really, I think it's a cool thing for people to be able to do. I think eventually they'll have parameters in place to where you won't be able to do that in the future. Yeah, but I think it's cool, but I also think obviously there's a risk involved as well. It depends on who's doing the jailbreaking and what are they doing it for. That's what I think.
Yeah.
As long as you can use a photo to generate a video, brother, unique photos within seconds, it will never go away. Yeah, the technology where you can turn a photo into a video. Wow, just wow. Good afternoon, Cyrus. What would you recommend for a 21-year-old to get into? You want to get into, if you're 21 years old, you want to get into tech sales. You want to get into tech sales, DevOps, cybersecurity, which is a little harder to get into, but it's gonna be here for a while before AI replaces it. So I'm naming industries that AI isn't gonna replace in the next 2 years. Tech sales. I know I mentioned SDR, but account executive roles, sales engineering roles, solutions architect roles, and honestly, I would say customer success management roles. Like people are saying, I've seen people saying AI can do the job of a customer success manager. AI can do the job of an account executive. But those are roles where it's person to person. Like we're talking business owner. A business owner is not going to want their customer success manager to be AI, not for the next 5 years, 10 years max. They're not, because think about it like this. If you're a business owner, let's say you're paying $5,000 a month for a company to use a company's technology to help your business. And let's say every week you check in with the customer success manager of the company so they can like see how things are going, make adjustments, things that'll help whatever reason you're using their solution run better. You're not going to be paying $5,000, $10,000 a month and you're meeting with the AI. Like people will feel insulted. They'll be like, no, I'm paying y'all $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month. Y'all better have me meet with a person. And so what's going to happen is, this is what I believe is going to happen. I believe a lot of companies are going to have AI customer success managers, but if you want a human customer success manager, that's going to be a higher tier. You're going to need to be an enterprise client. So if you're like if you're like a client where you're just paying $500 a month, $1,000 a month, they're probably going to have you working with an AI customer success manager. But then if you want to work with a human, you have to pay $10, $20, $30, $50,000 a month instead. That's what I personally believe is going to happen. Until eventually people are so comfortable with AI, then customer success managers are going to be gone. So anyway, So tech sales, but specifically customer success management, sales engineering, solutions architect, or account executive, cybersecurity, myriad of cybersecurity roles. A GRC is good. I'm not gonna go down a list of different cybersecurity roles that are great. Cybersecurity is becoming more important because of AI, because it's posing more security risks. DevOps is amazing. There's a lot of DevOps roles that requires you as a human to physically do stuff. So AI is not going to be able to do that anytime soon. It's going to require AI that's paired with robots, and the robots are going to need to so it will happen, but that's at least 5-10 years from now. So DevOps is good. So those are some of the spaces that I would recommend. Again, QA is good, but specifically QA engineering, QA automation, QA AI. I'm trying to think. Oh, excuse me, data science as well. Data science, massively good space to get into. Massively good space. So those are the ones that I would say. I think those are the 5. I think there's 5. So tech sales, cybersecurity, DevOps, data science, certain QA roles, not manual, but everything above manual. Yes, I recently had an AI recruiter call me and do a phone interview. At first, I didn't realize it was AI, but soon realized it was not human. It was receptive to most of my words. But overall, it felt like talking to a voicemail. That's hilarious. That's actually funny. Do you think AI is destroying the concept of corporate America's success, pushing freelance entrepreneurial ecosystem? Yes, it is. It's definitely going to push people into freelance work. The thing, though, is that eventually even freelance work is going to be cooked. I want to be real. People are saying, oh, AI is going to push everybody to where everybody's doing freelance work. Yeah, until we have people that have AI freelance companies where they have different AI that does different types of freelance work. And now even freelancers aren't going to be able to freelance. So everything is getting pushed away, y'all. Everything. I'm going to tell y'all full transparency what I'm doing right now. I don't know if anyone's been watching my story or keeping up my content on my Instagram story. I haven't posted this on my page yet. So I've been using AI trading. And for example, this week, I didn't even have it trade that much for me, but this week I made over $1,500. AI passively made me $1,500 this week. One of the days I made $1,100, over $1,100 in one day. I woke up, AI made me over $1,100 that day. And so I'm looking at technology. I'm working with technology that's being tweaked to where it can have people make 6 figures a month passively. And so we're stepping towards an era where we're all about to lose our jobs in the next 5 to 10 years. So what I'm working on, and I'm simultaneously helping people get in tech this last year to 2 years, I also am working on technology and with technologists that are creating technology that's making people a lot of money without you doing anything. Because in the future, there's not going to be much for us to do. And that means if you're not making like significant money, or if you haven't sold something that's worth a lot of money, you're going to be stuck at the mercy of the government and society. And I don't want that for our people. I don't want that for anybody. Journey, my self-love. What about business analysts? So business analyst is good, but again, I give as an entry level role, same thing. I give that a year, 2 years max. Because what a business analyst does on a basic level, I don't want to insult anyone that's a business analyst, but on a basic level, just like the name says, business analyst, they analyze someone's business. They analyze a suite of technology and solutions, and then they're like almost a business consultant in a way where they help a business perform better with leveraging technology, usually from one specific company. So like, for example, they're like a miniature version of Ash, where Ash is on a much higher level. She looks at technology across the board. Like, so if anybody does a consultation with her, y'all can literally go down in the description below. Or actually, I think I have an automation set up already. Y'all can comment on YouTube. Y'all can comment Ash AI. So somebody test that out, please. Comment Ash, ASH space AI, Ash AI. And I believe I have the automation set up to where it should automatically send you her link. I'm pretty sure I set that up 2 days ago.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, setting up these automations, all that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll see it in a second if it's working. And I'm gonna verify. I know I at least put it in there, but anyway, so tap in with her because she's a phenomenal resource when it comes to if you need to know what AI or tech solutions to use. Tap in with her. Click the link down below. The link is also in the description. That's where you can tap in with her and be able. The first consultation is free. And so she's on a higher level of what a business analyst is on a miniature level. So yeah, companies eventually, business analysts, even business analyst roles, companies contract business analysts. Not all companies, but many companies do. Many companies do. So yes, Jasmine said I need to reach out to you, Ash. Seriously, yeah, definitely reach out to her.
Yes.
Definitely reach out. I don't see the automation popping up, so it might not be on because one of my other automations aren't working either. So
Technical difficulties that happens.
yeah, the platform. I'm gonna check commands.
While Cyrus is checking that, I did want to have a few piggyback points on what we've already discussed. So we all know about the consumer economy. That's what we've had thus far. I like to personally believe that there's going to be more abundance and prosperity than ever. So there's like the doom and gloom, but there's also the alternative where there's going to be more jobs than ever. However, the key is going to be upskilling with artificial intelligence. So in no way are there going to be pigeonholed opportunities to where everyone's going to be losing their job and that no one's going to be able to thrive in the future besides, of course, the top 1%. Instead, I believe that creatives are going to be able to be empowered, especially in this AI revolution. So this is the new industrial era, as we've seen, where different factories were building all of these massive machines that were to run our nation. Now it's being incorporated and replaced with artificial intelligence. So like Cyrus mentioned earlier, a lot of those key roles that you need to get into. So yes, everyone may be losing their job, but a lot of these businesses and corporations are looking for people that can build either on the front end or the back end. So when you got to pick one, which one do you like, front end or back end? However, on the back end, we're talking about machine learning, data analytics, data science, like we've already discussed. And on the front end, that's more so like tech sales, etc. So this is going to be a great opportunity for everyone. And so what Cyrus does best and what we all do best is help and support everyone to transition into tech. So everybody that's here, not only are you getting the inside on the industry and where you can pivot, but also tap into the links below. Without further ado, run and do not walk to either get funding so you can build your own AI startup, or alternatively, you can also have access to direct customer client career support. So this means not only short-term, but also long-term. So we find that a lot of people, they have massive amounts of skills, several years of experience, but they just don't know necessarily what to do or where to go. And that's where we come in. So now we're saying exactly, okay, here's the path that you need to take based on what we like to call your KSAOs, your knowledge, skills, and abilities. And the O is going to be what you do best and what you want to do. And so we're not here to waste any time. Instead, we get to pinpoint the exact dream role just for you as the individual. So Mr. CMB, welcome in. Good to see you. Jasmine says, wishing you both and you all a beautiful weekend. I'm running errands and we'll listen to the replay. All right, Jasmine, go ahead. All right, Journey My Self Love says, yes, bring on the abundance. We got to think above the box. Self-empowerment is the next level abundance. Absolutely. Self-empowerment, self-learning, upskilling, all of that. So yes, there's not going to be, there's like the Terminator future versus the iRobot future, or another alternative option. But everybody that's here is set up to win and thrive because we already know exactly where to go and pivot. So this is really exciting. It's a really exciting time. A lot of businesses are building data centers and compute facilities. So they're going to be seeking multi-millions of jobs to be able to run those facilities.
Yeah.
And that's where y'all could come in. And not only
Yeah.
that, even if you are a recruiter, guess what you could do? Have an AI enhanced recruitment business that's going to automate all of that on the back end for you.
Yes.
So you're going to be making, there's so much money out there, you guys. It just needs to be claimed.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a huge part of the reason why we partner with the funding company to provide people with funding, because the opportunities for these entry-level roles are still here. Many are here. But it's not that opportunities are going to go. It's just going to be the companies for very entry-level skill sets. AI is going to be able to do it if it's very basic. Companies are going to be seeking people who already have the skills and experience. So that's why it's important for y'all to get in the industry now and scale as quickly as possible. So that's what it's about. But on the flip side, the goal, that's why we partnered up with the funding company to provide people with $50,000 to $300,000 in funding, is so that you can use that funding towards your business. So if you're a person like Ash, that's a perfect example. If you are a recruiter or you're in HR and you're like, yo, what am I going to do? Yo, partner, get a CTO, get someone who's a senior level developer, get a CTO, partner with another person that has a brilliant mind. And you all say, hey, let's create, and y'all can even go to ChatGPT. Y'all can say, hey, these are all of our skills, all of our passions. What are some different AI startups that we could create that we could disrupt the market? And it could literally tell you, yeah, do this, these are your options.
Yeah.
And then from there, you get funding. Literally, you could tap in with us, whatever, and you get funding. If you have your LLC set up, you'll get more money, because if you do the funding through your LLC, that's where you're getting. I haven't seen anybody come to us for funding with their LLC and get less than $150,000. So you come to us for funding, you get that money, and now you use that money. Now, still keep your job, keep your tech job. All y'all keep your tech jobs. Use that money towards hiring a small team of developers, and these developers, I would of course say, outsource these developers. Get developers that are in Nigeria, in Kenya, in Pakistan, in the Philippines, in India. Outsource those developers to where they live in other countries, to where the dollar goes significantly further. So that way, instead of you having to pay out $2,000, $5,000 a week, now you're only paying $500 or $1,000 a week. So that $150,000 stretches further. And then y'all build it out that way. And then from there, kind of go piece by piece. And I'm going to be real. Something we're going to start doing with the Technically Black platform, we're about to start interviewing startups. When I say we're about to start doing it, I mean literally a week from now, I'm about to start interviewing startup founders. And I want our platform to be a platform that promotes startup founder businesses. Like, one thing I said, I'm not interviewing bootcamp founders anymore. So literally, I'm not interviewing bootcamp founders anymore. Like, full transparency, a bootcamp founder just paid me yesterday. I'm going to be interviewing them next week. And for clarity, I don't interview a bootcamp just because they pay me, because there's a lot of boot camps out here want to pay me. I only work with boot camps that I know that their program is quality and they've already helped a lot of people that I know get in tech. Nevertheless, a boot camp paid me yesterday. That's the last boot camp I'm going to allow to pay me for me to interview them, because now I want to interview startup founders. So one, it can promote their business. Two, it's an executive opportunity for some of you. Some of you could be like, ooh, I want to come on as an executive, as a team member to help them grow this. Or it's an employment opportunity. And most importantly, in my opinion, it will inspire and educate all of you on how to create a startup. Because if we interview Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, they're not going to be able to teach you how to create a startup. because they're at such a high level. They don't create startups. They buy companies that are already proven at their level. Elon Musk didn't start Tesla. Elon Musk didn't start a lot of the companies. He obviously didn't start X. It's like they buy these companies. And so I want you all to hear from startup, but I'm going to be real. I'm only going to interview startup founders where their startup has to be making over $500,000 a year at least. And even that's generous. Honestly, I don't want to interview anybody who their business isn't making a few $1,000,000 a year. Because the goal isn't to interview people where it's like they're able to, the goal isn't to interview people where it sounds like what they're working on could fail. The goal is to interview people where it's like, oh no, they're already successful. They're not making billions, but they're already successful. So that way you can all learn the steps. And then we provide you with the funding to help you with your startup. So that's what I would say would be a great path for you all. So anybody who is interested in the funding, all you need to do, let me look at my commands real quick. All you need to do, also, can somebody comment Ash AI? Comment that again, ASH space AI, because I have it set up. I want to see if it's going to work. Anyway, for anybody that's interested in the funding, all you have to do is comment AI funding. So just comment AI funding. And then hopefully it comes up. So the Ash AI automation isn't popping up. I think it's because I made it go live while we're currently on here. So it's probably not going to come up right now. Even AI funding isn't popping anything up. I wonder if it's because y'all are doing it in caps. This is gonna sound strange, but try doing it in lowercase letters instead, y'all.
Appreciate y'all.
So I know that sounds weird, but try do it in all lowercase letters. Ash AI, and somebody do AI funding in all lowercase letters, please. And I'm using this new technology. They literally, this company is relatively new, and so all right, y'all can stop typing in Ash AI because it's not popping up. I appreciate y'all. It's probably gonna start working later. Maybe not. Yeah. Either way. Anyway, so all right, I'm trying to go crazy. I keep seeing Ash AI funny, Ash AI funny. That's funny. Anyone read the news article about companies such as Lyft who are, I'm paraphrasing, refocusing on human employees because AI wasn't performing as well as they thought it would based on surveys? Yeah, so that is true. I saw that recently, that there are several companies who jumped to AI and then now they're kind of going back to humans because they're like, oh yeah, it isn't performing as well as I thought. Yeah, we are in we're in an era right now where AI companies are really good at marketing their technology to be as good as humans. But it's not fully there yet. So their marketing is better than the actual result in many occasions. But eventually they're going to go back to it. But right now they're like, yeah, nah, this ain't really it. This isn't what y'all marketed. But they're going to spin the block again. Most of them are going to spin the block again, and I give it 2 years. Because there's AI companies, there's AI technology that I've used for our business where I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. But I'm like, I'm going to come back in a year from now because a year from now is going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of the companies are going to do. And probably about 2 years, a year, 2 years, they're going to spin the block and it's going to be better. Especially because Uber's is partnered with Waymo for self-driving vehicles. Waymo's in Atlanta, they're in Austin, they're in a few different places. Mm-hmm. And so eventually, if Lyft is going to want to continue to compete with Uber, they're going to have to get back in the AI space for self-driving, for fully autonomous vehicles.
Right.
But anyway, let's get back into that's a good thing to bring up. always.
I saw a
Appreciate
headline
that.
related to this where the semi trucks actually had safer results than human drivers. Now, could that be fabricated data? Yes. However, imagine that. Imagine that we're using an AI-driven semiconductor semi truck is going to be more successful and safer than using a human driver. That's what these companies are saying.
That's interesting.
Indeed.
So next piece of news we have Apple will add AI search into Safari, into their mobile browser of Safari, challenging Google. So Apple plans to shift the focus of mobile Safari search experience to AI search engines. Searches in Safari failed for the first time ever last year due to people increasingly using large language model based solutions. Google and Apple shares dropped after Apple's plans were revealed as investors fear that the deal that makes Google the default search engine may not last. It is unlikely an AI search engine will become the default as the technology still needs to improve, particularly when it comes to indexing. So Apple, I'm gonna have to look up because somebody check in the chat. Does anybody know Apple must own they must have a large share ownership of they must have a large share ownership of Safari. My bad, y'all. I have like an ocean in front of me, and I'm watching these people on jet skis live their best life. And I'm like, hold up, I gotta go. I'm gonna go on a jet ski today because they look like they're having so much fun. I'm gonna turn the computer around. Y'all might or might not be able to see them.
Hey, we love the views. Okay, look at that. Oh my gosh. Yes, that is the vibe. Look at that.
Living life. I'm like, hold up, I'm about to go out there on a jet ski.
That's trying to be like Cyrus for real.
Live my best life. That isn't AI generated, by the way, y'all. But now jokes aside, I wonder, does anybody know if Apple owns a lot of stock or share? They have to, because Apple's beef with Google, it's so interesting to me. Like Apple is very interesting. Apple doesn't want to empower any company that's a threat to them. And any company, not that's a threat, they don't want to empower any company that's on their level. It's like Apple, this is the way that I see Apple. Y'all know how there's always two different groups of girls. There's the group of girls it's a group of pretty girls where all the girls are pretty. It's like all the friends are pretty. And then there's the group of girls where it's like there's the one pretty girl and she doesn't like making friends with other pretty girls. She's like the mean girl. She likes being the it girl in her group. Apple is kind of like that, where Apple doesn't like to play fair with other companies that are as big as them. They only like to show love to companies that aren't on their level. Because Apple, the way Apple treats Google, the way Apple treats Meta, the way Apple treats all these other companies is hilarious. But they show so much love to the smaller companies. Mm-hmm. And so, I think the automation is just delayed or something because it just randomly popped up. Oh, no, I know what it is. I have it on a timer as well. I think every 10 minutes it pops up and mentions the funding. So the timer works. Yeah, so I have a timer set up with it too. It's pretty cool. So every 10 minutes, it mentions the funding with the link that people can copy. And I think every 15 minutes it mentions the community if people want to join the community. Is the way I have it set up. So So anyway, that being said, so I truly believe, in my opinion, I gotta look this up because I'm curious as to why Apple is so adamant to not make Google Chrome the search browser. They just are adamant about Safari, and now they're making Safari. No, you know what? Apple has to own Safari because now let me go back to the news. It specifically says, Apple plans to shift the focus of Safari's mobile browser to AI search engines. Yeah, Apple must own Safari. I'm gonna have to look this up because
Right.
anyway, what do you like? Let me know for those of y'all that have iPhones. Are you a person who you use Safari or are you a person that only uses Google? Like I only use Google, but I know some
Right.
people. I've seen some people use Safari on their iPhone. They're totally fine with that. And so let me
Mhm.
know, y'all, if you're a person, do you use Safari on your iPhone or do you use Google? Also, if you use Google, if Safari once Safari adds AI into the search engine and you can use it almost like ChatGPT and like Google, will that sway you to start using Apple Safari browser instead of the Google browser? I'm
Mm.
curious to know how this affects you all. Um, let me see. Does Apple own Safari? I am curious. Wow. I can't believe
Yeah,
I
we don't
didn't know
they?
this. They own Safari.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Ownership. It's all
Who
about
who
ownership.
who knew that? Let me know in the chat if anybody knew that Apple owns Safari. I can't believe I didn't know this. Wow. Yes, the web browser Safari is owned by Apple. It's the default. Yeah, I know it's the default browser. Safari is designed and developed by Apple to be optimized for their devices. No, but Apple didn't start Safari though. Oh, see, I didn't even type in Apple. Does Apple own? I just typed in does own Safari by accident. Um, did Apple create Safari? I don't think they did. They had to bought the company. Whoa, that is crazy. I feel so unqualified to do tech news. I cannot believe I did not know that Apple created Safari. Let me know in the chat who knew that. That makes so much sense now because I could never for the life of me wrap my brain around why Apple was so adamant about their Safari browser. It's one thing to not know that Apple didn't own Safari, but to not even know that they created Safari, I'm gonna be real. I've never heard anybody talk about all the tech history stuff that I've read. I've read so many books. I literally read Steve Jobs' entire story with
Everybody's
everything they
like, I
create.
knew.
Yeah, see, y'all knew. Y'all, hey, look, I need to
Yeah.
bring y'all on. I need to bring y'all because I read Steve Jobs' entire story all the way up until he died. Like it was literally, I read his story all the way to his death. And the story included when he got kicked out of Apple, because that's the famous story. Obviously, he started Apple, then the board kicked him out of Apple. Then he went on to create Pixar. Like, who knew in the chat? I got to flex now because I got to redeem myself. Who didn't know in the chat that Steve Jobs made Pixar? Steve Jobs started Pixar. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he created Pixar, and we know Pixar completely revolutionized cartoon movies,
Yeah.
animated movies, whatever. Completely revolutionized it to where
Right.
DreamWorks ended up stepping their game up. So he made Pixar. He made some other amazing moves, and then eventually Apple begged him to come back when Apple was falling off. He came back. He got rid of a lot of their stupid products. Eventually, he came out with the iPod, the iPad, um, the Apple Watch, like the early generations of the Apple Watch. Obviously, the iPhone. All of this technology. I had never once mentioned Safari when I read his book. But you know what? I was Lyft driving when I listened to his story. It probably was a moment where somebody was saying something crazy to me in a car, and I probably missed that part. It's probably like one sentence where it's like, also he made Safari, and then it moved on. Because I can't believe I did not know that. Wow. Yeah, Pixar. I forgot that. Yeah, yeah. He almost took Disney off the map. Almost took them off the map. Oh, Woo TV says, I just thought you were trolling for real. No, I really didn't know that about Safari. Wow. This is why I enjoy this because not only do we get to break down tech news for y'all, but it becomes a learning opportunity even for me. Keeps me on my toes with stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, not in every way, but they overhyped in a lot of ways. Apple is proprietary about almost every aspect of them. Yeah, except their screens and their chips and all the important parts. Yeah, that's very true.
Basically.
Apple is very. I mean, their entire model is closed source, not just in a technological standpoint, but also in terms of the way they operate as a business. So it's like that. That's the model for their whole business is closed source. Is the way that they operate and move. Yep, at Journey, my self love. That's why Disney had to acquire Pixar. Yeah, Pixar was about to take them out. Um, yeah, wow. I'm still that's gonna be the biggest thing for me today. That's gonna have me like, whoa! I did not know Apple. Did not know Apple owned created Safari. I'm like, oh, they must own a lot of stock in them. No, nigga, we made them. What you talking about? Oh, all right, cool. Uh, so Ash, I'm gonna pass over to you if you have any other tech news to share.
All right, yeah. So I do want to kind of double back on the point of jailbreaking AI first and foremost. So before we dive into the other news topic, because this is going to be important. So apparently they now have, and we talked about this a few streams earlier, but this is going to be in related to autonomous AI agents that are posing threats to cybersecurity. So now we know that there are going to be cybersecurity risks due to agents that can inadvertently cause data breaches or leak sensitive information without proper safeguards. So this means that all of the experts out there are emphasizing the need for not only robust identity and access to these controls, but also managing non-human entities. So it's crazy to think that one day, you know, our phones, our devices could be hacked by an artificial intelligence system, but that is the future. So this is why we need to have conversations on regulations and start to implement laws for protections and for controls, because now we all know that the priority is going to be innovation. However, it does breed significant risk. So we can look forward to operational scalability. So everybody that's in cybersecurity, well, you may want to make sure that you're enhancing your experience with artificial intelligence. You could even be leveraging and using AI agents in your respective industry. However, we could also look forward to, of course, reduced cost savings, right? So this means that there's going to be an even more reduced need for human oversight. So we know doctors, lawyers, engineers, now cybersecurity professionals. I mean, the list just keeps getting bigger every week. But definitely had to bring that up first and foremost. But the next piece of news, you guys, is going to be in regards to Meta and their new AI glasses. So Meta is a little bit delayed. All of their glasses are coming out in the year 2027 or later. However,
Wow.
I know, right? Like, lame. We already have smart glasses here and now. Anywho, so Meta apparently is developing advanced AI-powered smart glasses featuring what they call super sensing vision. So this means that they're going to have facial recognition and real-time contextual awareness. So we all have probably seen those glasses that you can wear and they'll dox individuals. So doxing basically means like identifying them based on their biometric data. And so the future is going to be insane, to where Meta is trying to develop an entire infrastructure, of course, centered around like smart glasses. These are the first of their kind. As a matter of fact, so we've all seen Meta's Orion glasses, but one of the latest updates that we have, and you guys are the first to hear this. So we have a new shipment of upgraded glasses that are now integrating Gemini AI as your AI assistant. Meta's not doing that. Google's not doing that, but Better Boost is doing that. So you guys get that first little secret. However, let's go ahead and get into the realistic implications of what Meta's doing, to where you're going to be able to face recognize people. I think this could be beneficial. Let's say you're going to a party or an event and you're able to scan and see, you know, who people are. Also, of course, when we're speaking on having an assistant readily available for you. So now you're going to be able to hopefully have an even more personalized experience. So Meta, they're trying to dominate in that space. And so we could look forward to, number one, enhanced user experience. And number two, this poses significant data risks. So Meta's well known for taking everybody's data and making trillions of dollars and not giving anything back to the people. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this is beneficial for yourself or for Meta to develop this technology that can also do facial recognition? And do you think it's more so of a risk or a benefit? Let me know, you guys. Cyrus, let me know what you think.
I mean, it's definitely a risk, but it's so cool though. Because when I think about, think about when y'all go to events that you're going to a networking event or you're going someplace and you don't know anybody that's there. Imagine wearing a pair of Ashley's frames and from Better Boost, and it's like it analyzes people that are in the room, and with facial recognition, it pulls up, and of course, this has to be people who have information public, like they have a public Instagram or a public LinkedIn, where it'll give you information saying like, oh, this is this person on LinkedIn, this is the kind of business they're in. And then it'll tell you based on your business or based on what you have going on, it'll like tell you whether or not you should go up and talk to that person. They could say, yeah, you could talk to them about this and this because it will be beneficial for both of you or there's overlap. So it's like instead of you walking around talking to people, trying to figure out who you need to talk to, it will literally be able to tell you, like, it could probably rank people based on like its suggestion on if like how much you need to talk to them or not, or if y'all should connect or not. That's
right?
like
That
so
would be
cool.
so convenient. That would be so convenient. I would love something like that. But at the same time, we do know that that technology could be easily hacked. So the future where, they have those docs glasses where, you can just see anybody that's walking past you and know all of their history and data and information, that's going to be the risk, you guys. But this is the future. The future is now. But yeah, we're super excited. These now have Gemini AI. Eventually, we're going to continue to evolve these glasses. So in the future, like in my mind, Meta and Google, they're direct competitors, and I'm delusional. But I do want to go ahead and shout out to Journey Myself Love. She said, "Are you selling the glasses, and how much are they?" So the short answer is yes, but we do call this super tech, and only a few people in the world, including Cyrus, are getting first access to it, and they're personally invited to the Founders Club. However, we are opening it up for a select few. So Journey Myself Love, tap into the link below if you want to have a personalized demo for this technology. I'm happy to get it in your hands. So Terry Green says, "I think those are nice, Ash. Congratulations." Thank you. Appreciate you guys. We're trying to build, the future. Terry Green also says they're already using this tech in China and are for ATM machines and grocery stores. So people are paying for their groceries via pure facial recognition. Yes. And this is the reason why they're several years ahead. Their system is entirely digitalized. So that's pretty exciting, I think. One of these days, I would love to personally visit and experience it firsthand. And I also think that I wonder when the United States is going to, come to something like this. So when we talk about risks of security and doxing, so we know that OpenAI, Sam Altman, has also created what's called WorldCoin. And if you don't know about it, then you need to know about it. So WorldCoin essentially is going to be a system of confirmation of identity. So it's going to be able to scan, imagine a little orb. It's going to scan your face, and it's going to be able to tell you if you're a human or AI. And so the implications of that is kind of, a little perhaps concerning, because we're getting into a dystopian future to where, we're going to be, scanning our faces, and that's going to be able to, allow us to make purchases or other decisions. However, is the United States ready? Are the American people ready for this type of technology to where one day you'll be able to scan your face and pay for something, or scan your face and get access to almost anything? I think that's going to be, an interesting phase of development. So Always also says, "I've done a tiny bit of consulting work with Meta. Sometimes they are real janky when it's time to pay. They don't want to they want to overwork you and underpay you. I won't work with them again." Shout out to you Always for keeping it 100%, because yeah, Meta, we all know how they can be, a little janky sometimes, but it's it's c'est la vie with a lot of these large monopoly corporations. So what Meta is focusing on right now is building their massive infrastructure. So they're putting all of the technology, all of their Llama technology into now glasses. So this is their next phase. However, it's going to be interesting to see exactly where they're going to take it. Personally, I would be excited of, let's say, when it comes down to personal assistants. So these are the first and only glasses that are available in the world that not only have augmented reality display, but also Gemini AI assistant. And so with that, I like to think of a future where there's going to be like a projection, and I think of like a physical AI assistant. Like you can wear these, right? And then you're not only able to talk to your assistant, but it'll be able to like walk around or like, you know what I'm saying, like actually interact with you. But yeah, the future is super exciting. Terry,
That's so
appreciate
cool.
you.
It's like
And
it's like imagine being at home and it's like I'm gonna be real. It's so cool because it's like when we think about things like DoorDash, think about when you're DoorDashing or you're doing Uber Eats and they text you that a certain thing isn't available. They're like, "Oh, this thing you wanted isn't there." But you're like, "Man, I know it's there. It has to be in stock because it's always there." Because you know sometimes the people aren't really looking for the thing specifically you told them to get. They're just getting something else. It's like to be sitting at home and to have like your robot shopping for you and for you to be wearing the glasses, and if the robot says it's having a tough time of seeing it, you can click a button or you can say something voice wise. You can say, show me what you see. And then automatically the lenses change to where you see what they're seeing, and you're able to look around and even able to probably control them and look around the store and be like, yeah, it's right here. You don't see it? And so it's like we're not far from that. Like this is gonna be so, and I'm gonna be very real with y'all. It's gonna be so much fun if you got money, because all the cool stuff we talking about. If you don't have no money,
basically,
you're not gonna enjoy none of this stuff. And that's why I'm so adamant about like, yo, we have to get to the money. Because the most impressive version of this technology is going to be available for people that can afford some of the stuff. Like, you know, not everything. There's going to be technology that's for everybody, you know, and there's going to be versions that are for people who don't have a lot of money. But to enjoy like the best, it's like it's going to require, I mean, you don't have to be a millionaire, but it's going to require you to have a little bit of coins and stuff to really enjoy it. I mean, it's like
right?
when you think about the hood, anybody has family that's in the hood or that's in some and you go to a lot of those places in the hood, and you go to a lot of the homes, and you can tell when things are outdated. Like, obviously, I'm in Colombia right now. They have a lot of these Airbnbs I go to, like the one I'm in right now, doesn't even have a dryer. I didn't find that out till it has a washing machine. I washed my stuff. And I was like, hey, is this one of those washing machines that washes and dries? And they said, no, it's just a washing machine. So literally, I could pan my computer and show y'all, I have my clothes hanging off the balcony drying overnight.
Old school.
And so real old school. But that's normal here. Like if you're here and you're a lot of other places, especially if you go to certain like neighborhoods here, they don't even have washers and dryers. They hand wash their stuff and hang their stuff out.
Wow.
And so, likewise, having certain technology, the best technology, will be a privilege. And so, to where it's almost going to be one of those. It's almost going to be one of those things where the only people that are going to be at grocery stores, the only people that are, because even platforms like DoorDash, Instacart, they're going to get robots to do this stuff, to go and shop for people and do all these things. And so it's going to be one of those things where the only people in grocery stores are going to be robots. and if you physically are in a grocery store, it's going to look weird. We might even see a future where as a human, you're not allowed in a grocery store. that'll be interesting. Where they're like, hey, what are you doing? Like, no, send your robot or send. You have to order on Instacart to come to the grocery store, or order on like those people come to the grocery store.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like and that could sound crazy, but that's very possible because
Right.
at some point, because we have to keep in mind, eventually grocery stores are going to be void of humans. It's probably going to be one store manager that's there that opens up and closes, and they also will be a person that's a bit of a technologist. Where they like store managers in the future are going to be technologists, where they're going to be able to also oversee make sure the technology is operating well. And it's going to be one of those things where the grocery stores are going to be not ghost towns, they're going to be robot towns. We're just going to be robots coming in there shopping for people. And there's going to be a DoorDash robot, an Uber Eats robot, an Instacart robot. And then the only way you can even shop is you have to scroll on your app to see what groceries are there. Like, that's how you're going to be shopping. And the robots are going to bring you the groceries. And then if you're like, no, I want to go to the grocery store, it's going to be funny. Grocery stores are almost going to be something like you're going to want to take your kids to, almost like it's like an amusement park where they're like, whoa. It's like, yeah, look at all these groceries and items. I think we're heading towards an interesting future. Again, this is theoretical what I'm saying, but it has some sense to it. At least I believe. Let me see what y'all are saying in the chat. Japan is like 1,000 years ahead of us. Seriously, yeah, that's very true. Those glasses are tough. Yeah, they are.
Appreciate you.
I'll get it just to support. I think it's dope. Exactly. I need to go to Japan and see what everybody's talking about. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go to Japan and go to China pretty soon.
I'm coming with you.
I'm such a nationalist as an American, and I don't use that in the extreme sense of the term nationalist. But I am a nationalist, where meaning that like I love being American. I love my country. I want America to be number one. Not that I want other people to fail. It's just I want America to be number one. I'm competitive in that way. And so, but because we're in a trade war with China, part of me wants to be like, man, I ain't gonna go to China, man. Forget China. But I'm like, no, I want to go to China. I want to see what they got going on. It's the technologist in me. The technologist in me is overriding my nationalism, to where it's like, no, I want to see what technology they got. Everything they cooking up. So, yeah, Japan too. Japan. People don't talk about Japan, but Japan is low key where it's at. Cyrus, you got to understand, in most countries they don't have dryers because it's so hot. But I get you. Well, no. They have dryers here. I don't get what you mean when you say it's so hot. Like, are you saying like the clothes dry like super fast? What do you mean exactly? Because I mean, it's hot in Miami. It's hot in Miami. It's hot in Dubai. It's super hot in Dubai, and it's like they got dryers there. But then again, to be clear, they have dryers in the new parts of Dubai. If you go far out to old Dubai, where it looks more Arabic and looks more, and let me not say that because Dubai is Arabic. Their designs are Arabic. It looks just more outdated. It looks like old school Arabia. Same thing. People are hanging their clothes out. But in the newer Dubai, the Dubai that we see on social media, that's the part where they definitely have dryers there as well. Sounds like Detroit become human, but without robots being sentient. You know, there's a video game called something Detroit, but it's a game with robots or something like this. It's like something New York or something Detroit. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody let me know in the chat. Sounds like Detroit became human, but without robots being sentient. What do you mean by Detroit became? Is that the name of the game? But Detroit become human? Okay. All right. Wu TV says if it's another global pandemic, that can make sense. Yeah. Do you think a lot of this will also have a huge downside to life? Because I mean, come on, we as humans have got extremely lazy and dependent on technology. So it'll depend on the person. So for example, rich people, not even just rich, upper middle class to rich people to super wealthy, technically speaking, they should be the laziest people because they have maids, they have people they drop their dogs off at doggy daycares. Like they have that in Miami. Like I was when I moved to Miami, that's when I saw like some money. I was like, y'all have doggy daycares. You drop your dog off like it's your kid. So it's like they have all of these amenities. They have chefs. They have this. They have that. Now, usually someone could say by the logic that most people have is that, oh, that'll make them lazy. No, they're the most proactive. They use their time and their freedom wisely. They're the most fit. Like you go in poor areas, those are the people that work out the least. Those are the people that are the least productive. And we know a lot of times it's mentality. A lot of times it's a lack of certain resources, upbringing, all of that, the trauma of living in poverty. Nevertheless, when we talk about AI is going to make us lazy, no, it depends on the person. AI is going to make some people are going to hyper utilize their time on things that matter. I want us to think like business owners. The question is, as a business owner, does hiring employees and more staff to do tasks that the business owner used to do, does that make the business owner lazy, or does that make the business owner more productive on the things that matters at the business? We know it doesn't make a business owner more lazy. It makes the business owner able to focus on the things that matters in the business. And so likewise, if we're now an employee, a person that's an employee and that's thinking like an employee, they're thinking about if they're having something do the job for them, they're thinking, oh, I could chill and just scroll on TikTok now. We need to think like business owners. We need to think like wealthy people, where we think, ooh, this is going to give me my greatest resource back, my time. It's going to give me my greatest resource back. So now I can invest this resource into something better. Because it's like even a CEO, the job of a CEO, in essence, a CEO should not be working in the business. They should be working on the business. They should be working on things that are generating money, that are growing the brand, and they are the manager of the managers in the company. So they are there to, if the managers run into issues that they can't resolve, it gets passed up. And that's usually major issues within the business. So even my team, and again, I'm not comparing myself to some billionaire CEO, but something I've gotten a lot better at, I used to be really bad at this. When my team members come to me with a problem, they're like, hey, Cyrus, I ran into this thing. And they're like, what should I do? I don't think of a solution. Now, if it's a real quick solution, I'll do this. Boom. But if I have, usually what I do, I say, what do you think we should do? 9 times out of 10, they have an answer. And so I've been doing that so much now that most of the times they don't even come to me with problems. Most of the times they'll tell me they ran into a problem, and they'll say, yeah, but I solved it by doing this. And I'll say that was a great idea. Sometimes I'll say, ooh, that's good. Next time, also do this. But usually I'm like, yo, that's a phenomenal idea. And it's my team, they're operating more like leaders now. They're operating so much like leaders. They're coming up with ideas that I never would have came up with to help our business function. I'm like, whoa, like one of my team members, he came up with an idea that was so brilliant. I was like, dude, let me tell y'all the idea he came up with, because I loved it so much. So y'all know we have the funding, right? So I was like, yo, because with the funding, you have to qualify. Like, so full transparency, if you got a 500 something credit score, you're not about to get $150,000, $200,000. Like, now mind you, we have an AI credit repair solution as well that can get your credit there, but you have to like qualify. So I was telling my team, like, man, I want to help more people get funding, but so many people come to us that don't qualify. I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Everybody who qualifies, let's give them an affiliate link. Let's make them an affiliate to where they get between $250 to $500 for every person that they refer that gets approved for funding. I said, let's make them affiliates. So then I was trying to think, I said, yeah, let's do this. When they become an affiliate, or when they join, as soon as they get approved for funding, I said, we can give them the affiliate link. We can hit them up. Say, hey, by the way, we got you an affiliate link. So if you want to refer friends, because usually a person that has like good credit, they have friends that have good credit. So we're like, yo, let's have them recommend people so we can help more people through their network. And I was thinking, I said, man, that's gonna be a really tough task. Every single time we get someone funded, we have to go and make them an affiliate link. He came up with an idea on the spot. He said, this is what we can do. He said, as soon as they get funded, as soon as basically they get approved for the money, whether it's $50,000, $200,000, $250,000, however much, he's like, we can have it automated that when they get the funding and it triggers to the affiliate platform, I can create an automation to where it'll generate automatically their own unique affiliate link. And then I can have the automation trigger to where it triggers an email to go to them saying, congratulations on getting approved for funding. Here's your unique affiliate link. So if you want to refer your friends and family, blah, 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 give them this link. And if you get 10 people, 10 people in a month, that's $5,000 you just made in a month just by helping your friends and family get $100,000, $200,000. So you can help your friends and family, and you can make money passively. My mind was blown. I said, so we don't have to do nothing. Literally, once people get approved for funding, the whole automation goes in a cycle to where it sends them their affiliate link. And so, shouts out to him. Unfortunately, he's a part of my team that's in Pakistan. Pakistan is being bombed right now by India. If anybody's been keeping up with the news, they've been getting bombed like literally outside of his window. He's recording bombs getting dropped outside, like in his neighborhood. It's like really tragic. But again, just to highlight that. So I say all of this to say, going back to the point, will technology make us lazier or will it make us more productive? It depends on the person. It depends on who you are, is what I would say. So now I will say to the other point, will we have a huge downside to life? This is what I believe is going to happen. I personally believe, and I think this is a little bit different than what Ash thinks. I personally believe that there won't be jobs in the future at all. I think that to keep people from revolting or going crazy, I believe most people are going to turn to entertainment. And I believe we're going to be living just like Ready Player One and other stuff like that. I believe we are going to be. I mean, look at what's happening with video games, with GTA 6, and with all of these games where you're living in another world, Roblox, and all this other stuff. That I don't play these things, but I see people talking about it. We are clearly heading towards a future as games are becoming more realistic in virtual reality and augmented reality, and as careers and jobs and stuff go away. People are going to need more entertainment. Because again, who are people that are most inundated with entertainment? And again, I don't want it to sound insulting. It is typically the poor. It's typically people that don't have much. Because again, you need an outlet. Like when whether your outlet is weed, whether it's doing a lot of drugs, whether it's drinking a lot, whether it's sex, entertainment. It's like you need some outlet to deal with your stress. And so I truly, truly believe that the outlet that most people they're going to sell us is technology, and it's probably going to be a swap. Like y'all know, there are companies now that are being created where they pay you to use their technology, because essentially they're paying you for the data and they're paying you for like your usage and stuff and how it's helping their platform develop. So I believe likewise there might be a money opportunity where these video game companies will like offer you some sense of payment to use their platform, because it's going to train their platform to become better and become smarter. And so that's what I believe is going to happen. I believe that's going to be the downside of humanity, is that people are going to be living in virtual worlds. Japan is definitely one of the countries I travel to. Actually, in the process of learning. I'm actually in the process of learning Japanese. Wow, that's so cool. In Las Vegas, robots deliver your room service. Hold up. In Las Vegas, robots deliver your room service. I think I've actually seen that before. Yeah, you know what? No, I've actually experienced that before at a hotel in Las Vegas. My first tech company sent me to Las Vegas. Man, do you guys play with YOLO? Ultralytics. I haven't. Ash, have you? I haven't. Can you expound on that tack? Their Burger King must be crazy in Japan and China. Why do you say this? Their Burger King must be crazy in Japan and China. What do you mean by this, Woo?
They have like different culinary options, which are unique and tasty.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, in Dubai, they definitely have even in Dubai, they have different types of food. Like the flaming hot Cheetos in Dubai taste entirely different. It blew my mind. I was like, what is? I was so hyped to get some flaming hot Cheetos, and I was like, what am I eating right now? Abu Dhabi. What about Abu Dhabi, Woo? So that's not what I was talking about when I was saying like the older town. I was literally speaking like Dubai is big enough that you can go further out and go into other towns and neighborhoods because Dubai does have a certain form of slavery or indentured enslavement, but also they have a lot of Indians that are there that are treated like the slaves of the country. The Indians are building everything behind the scenes, and then the Arabic people own just about everything. And so, like for example, I went on a yacht, a yacht, whatever. I went on a boat, and the top deck is people partying, and literally, I was talking to somebody, and it was an Arabic person, and they were talking about some business venture we could collaborate on, but it was too loud. He was like, "Oh, it's too loud. Let's go down to the bottom deck." So we go down to the bottom deck. It's pitch black, y'all. Pitch black. This is my first time in Dubai. And this was my first time in Dubai and my first time out by myself. We go down to the bottom deck. We turn the lights on. I am not exaggerating when I say this. It was 40 Indians all sleeping on the floor across the bottom deck. Like when I tell y'all we were partying upstairs, the music was so loud. And they're just down there sleeping. And when he turned the lights on, he was like, "Hey, get up, get out of here." They all like woke up, right? And you could tell they worked there, like they worked there and they lived there. And so literally in 2 a.m. in the morning, they're having to get up and they're all like, they all got to get up and they leave off the boat deck just for he and I to talk. And that was like a example of like, dang, that's like slavery. That's like poverty, where it's like you're sleeping on the bottom deck of a boat on the floor, on a dirty floor with mud and sand and all of that. No pillows, no cover. And then you get woken up and are told to scram, and you just got to get up and just all y'all walk off. And now they all had to walk off and just wait outside while he and I talk for an hour and a half, just kind of standing there and sitting there. And so anyway, you go to older Dubai, you go further out, you see where a lot of them live. And very interesting to see, very interesting to see. The weather is hot where they be trying to save on electricity. Yeah, they're not trying to save on electricity. Maybe some of the places you're talking about, but because they have dryers here. Like most Airbnbs I've stayed in Colombia, I've been here for just about 9 months now. They have a lot of dryers and stuff here. It's just certain. If you stay in an Airbnb that's a little bit more dated, they don't have dryers or washing machines. But the more advanced they are, they have washing machines and dryers. I don't think it's a heat thing. I think it's like washing machines and dryers are not cheap. And so for them, that's like an extra $300, $400, $500. And they don't produce their own here. They have to get them from America. But they don't have to. But anyway, USA, USA, USA. We can want us to win without it adversely affecting anyone else. Yeah, that's the goal.
Right.
That's the goal. Shira, you be talking about shopping for groceries. Remember that Xenon show? Yeah, Xenon, girl of the 21st century. In the Xenon show, they were popping up food in the microwave. Yeah, they sure were. I need to hang with more people with good credit for real, for real. That's funny. You know what's funny? So my credit is actually bad right now. So I'm about to do the AI credit solution. What I'm about to do, y'all, I'm about to document my whole process. So I'm going to tell y'all my process. So y'all know that the AI right now is making me a few $100 to $1,000 a day. And that's based on how much I have inside of the account the AI is trading off of. So for example, I can show y'all an example of the AI one person had a day where the AI literally made them $14,000 in one day. And I'm not exaggerating, not even in the slightest. And so here it is. So it made them $14,000 in one day. And the reason why I was able to do that, now again, this isn't my account. This is someone's account. This was in one day. Now this account had over between 100,000 to 150,000 in it. It was somewhere, and I'm not saying wide window, but it was somewhere in that range that the AI was trading off of. So that's why I was able to make them $15,000 in one day. So what I want to do, I'm like, I want to make between $5,000 to $10,000 a day passively. If anybody does any math, that's about $300,000. That's about $150,000 to $300,000 in a year, or $300,000 a month. That's essentially, if we say $300,000 a month, that's essentially $3.6 million a year. I'm like, I want to make about $3 million a year passively with AI. But in order to do that, I'm going to have to put more money into the AI to trade off of. So I'm like, I'm not about to just drop $100,000, $150,000 in my own money. First off, I don't have $150,000 I'm just sitting on. I'm going to be clear about that. I make good money, but I put a lot of my money into other stuff. But I'm like, so what I'm about to do, I'm going to do the funny and I'm going to document it. I'm going to show everybody all the stuff I'm talking about. So literally next week, I'm starting the AI credit repair solution. I'm going to document me doing it. I'm going to document how the AI is helping my credit boost really fast. And somewhere between a month to 2 months, my credit will be where it needs to be at, to where then I'm going to do the funding. But I'm going to do the funding through Tech is the New Black, through my LLC. I'm going to do the funding through Tech is the New Black. So that way I get between $150,000 to $250,000. I'm going to get that $150,000 to $250,000. I'm going to take the majority of that. So let's say, for example, I get $150,000. I'm going to take $100,000 from that. I'm going to put that into my account that the AI is trading off of. So currently right now, my account has about $20,000 in it. So it'll be $120,000. So then on really extreme days, I'll be making the $14,000 like this. But again, this is a really extreme day. But then like even on low earning days, I'll be making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 on those days. But on average, I should be breaking somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 a day. And I'm going to document this it's probably going to be like a 3-4 month process. I'm going to be able to document this for everybody. So that way everybody can see it and be able to know, cool, this is a dope pipeline. Because I want y'all to hear the breakdown. The goal of what we're doing, we're getting people funded. Most people that are getting funded are putting some of their money into this AI solution, and they're a part of the community. They're making money. If y'all go and watch my story on Instagram, you'll see a snapshot of the fund of the AI trading community of people posting their wins and posting their money and stuff like that. Anyway, basically the goal is to, if your credit isn't fixed, get your credit fixed quickly, so that way you qualify for the funding. So that way, and also the other thing that we're doing, because again, the credit repair business isn't my business, but it's a collaboration. The friend of mine whose business that it is, he's been doing it for over 10 years. What we're going to also do with people, so let's say you need to get your credit fixed. It'll take between, on average, 30 to 60 days before your credit is good enough. In the meantime, we're also going to create your LLC. So if you don't have an LLC, we're going to help you create your LLC, which only take about 1 or 2 days. So the reason for you to get your LLC, even if you don't have an idea for a business, is because having an LLC it'll benefit you 2 ways. One is going to allow you to get more money from the funding, because now you'll be able to apply for the funding through your LLC. So now instead of you getting $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, now you're getting $150,000 to $200,000. And then, you can have fun with your money, do whatever you want to do with your money. But there are certain tiers when it comes to the AI solution. Whichever tier you want to do, you can put that into the AI. So now, instead of you having to pay that loan back yourself, because you're going to have to pay back the $150,000, $200,000. Instead of you having to pay, if you have $150,000 you have to pay back, the monthly payment on that is somewhere in the ballpark of about $2,000 to $3,500. So instead of you paying that back, you put a portion of your money into the AI. So now, even if you're at the lowest tier, you'll still be bussing on a bad month $4,000 or $5,000 a month. But most people aren't going to go for the lowest tier. Let's say you go for a tier where you're bussing about $10,000 a month. You take the $2,000 to $3,000 from the AI, have that pay back your loan, and you enjoy the rest of the money. And so that's what we're working on, to literally create a pipeline. Because once you have that, you could be in Jamaica and you're making hundreds to thousands of dollars a day without having to work. You could lose your job and you're making money. You could start a business, and if your business fails, it doesn't matter because you're still making money. So that's literally what we already have the process created, but we're refining it. And I've come to terms, I'm like, well, you know what? I need my credit fixed. I want to put more money into the AI. I'm going to document the whole process. So that way people can literally see what I'm telling y'all to do. Y'all going to be like, yo, this is literally what Cyrus did. The same way I talk to people about doing a boot camp to get into tech, I don't tell y'all to do nothing I don't do myself. So again, that's the plan. That's what we're working on right now, to really get us to true financial freedom. True financial freedom is what we're working on. So keep us in your prayers. You know, keep our AI in your prayers, that God allows our developers to make it so good, to where we don't have like losses or anything like that. Like, because we have risk mitigations, we have all of those things, but it's not perfect. And so it performs at like an 80% right now. So there are some losing days, but the losing days are never like drastic. It's like this week, I had a losing day this week. I lost like $80-something, like $87. But then the next day I made $308. And then the next day I made $1,100. So it's like, and then the next day I think I lost like $12 or something like that. Then the next day I made $80 or $70, something like that, whatever. So anyway, so keep us in your prayers. We want the AI to be so freaking good to where eventually there just aren't any losses, and it's just making everybody money every single day. Got in one day, that's a blessing. $300,000 a month. I see the vision. Yeah, and I'm telling you, I have a lot of friends. So my friend who has the AI and the funding business, he makes about $250,000 a month. I have friends that make 300, 400, 500,000. Like literally, I was at the gym in Medellin, Colombia, with a homeboy of mine. His name is Pushman Mitch. For anybody that knows him on Instagram. A bad month for him is $600,000 a month. That's a bad month for him. He's in his early to mid 30s. He looks like me. He looks a little younger than me actually. And a bad month for him is a $600,000 month. He makes between $800,000 to about $1.2 million a month. And if anybody follows him on Instagram, you know that's the case, because he has like three or four different Lamborghinis, all type of stuff. But when I tell y'all, super humble dude, super humble, super down to earth. He's not a big time flexer. The reason I even was funny when I saw him in the gym, it wasn't because I saw him, it's because I was working out, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone's watch shine in the gym. And I said, why does it look like somebody in the gym with a Rolex on? And mind you, I'm in Medellin, Colombia. I didn't even know he was there. I'm in a gym in Medellin, Colombia. He's from Atlanta. And I'm like, why does it look like somebody working out with a Rolex on? And it made me look, and I was like, somebody got a Rolex on in the gym in Colombia. And then I look up and I realize it's him. Now, what's funny, I go up to him and I said, yeah, man, I noticed it was you, because I was like, yo, who in here with a Rolex on in the gym? His response was, he said, bro, it's just a plain Jane. Like basically saying, I ain't got my diamonds. This is like my little plain Jane Rollie. I was like, shoot, my Rolexes are only plain Jane. So again, y'all, it's levels to this money game. It's levels to this money game. Yeah. Rental car. That's his main business. He helps people start rental car businesses and stuff. He has a lot of mentees and stuff like that. And so, yeah, shouts out to Pushman Mitch. Humble dude, cool dude. He gave me a lot of gems when it came to business stuff. What's funny, we left the gym. We were going somewhere. I accidentally left my AirPods because the next day we went to the gym together to work out and talk business and stuff. I left my AirPods. I left my AirPods, and then I was like, "Oh, I left my AirPods." He said, "Oh, let's go back and get it." And but mind you, we hit. It was a huge mall. I was like, I said, "Man, nah, I just buy another pair." Rich niggas always just want to leave something and just go buy another pair. He said, "No, bro, we gonna go back and get them." And so for me, it was a huge lesson because I'm like, shoot, he makes 10 times the money I make. And even he was like, "No, we're not gonna buy another pair. No, bro, we're gonna go back and get your AirPods. Like, we're gonna take this 5-minute walk and go back and buy your AirPods, or not buy your AirPods, but get your AirPods. Literally, these pair right here." And so, anyway, story after story. But yeah, again, just an example. People out here making money, y'all, money. And again, that's why it's important for us to get to a point where we're making about 6 figures a year, because that opens you up to where you start meeting other people at other levels. Because in my building where I was living at when I was in Atlanta, the only reason I even met my friend Ty, who does about $250,000 a month, is because it was because of proximity. It's because I was living in a building where the average rent in the building was about $3,000. My rent was $4,000. But understand, even in my building, there was levels. There were people who were making about $80,000 to $120,000 a year. And those people interacted with the people that were making that much a month, but they didn't hang out as friends. They would be cordial in the building. But once one of the people that was making about $100,000 a month, once they kept talking to me, and then they realized, like, they saw me on social media and they started kind of putting pieces together. Literally, what's funny, they saw me. I came back from shopping. I saw them in the lobby of my building, and they were like, "Oh, what did you buy?" And then what it was, I bought a pair of earrings, and the earrings I think were about $12,000. And then they saw the actual receipt, and they saw because when you buy something that's a certain price, they give you like a notary thing that verifies it's a legitimate diamond. And when they saw that, they said, "Oh, you really dropping money." And then once they saw that, the next day they said, "Hey, I want to invite you somewhere." And then the place they invited me to, my friend Ty was there, who, again, he makes about $250,000 a month. He was there, and a few other people were there. And that's where I met all of the different people, the dudes in Atlanta, the young guys in Atlanta that make a lot of money. So understand, the best way to network with really successful people is for you to become a certain level of success that they kind of view you somewhat on their level, and then they invite you into certain rooms. But understand, even at the height of my money, because I don't make as much money as I used to make. At the height of our money, I was making over $100,000 a month. Even at the height of it, there are still certain rooms that I still was not at a level at. So it's important to level up, because leveling up is the best way to network and meet other people. Because people don't want to take you from zero to the level they're at if they don't see you having done some of the work already. So you have to do some of the work already, y'all. You have to. And so that's just really what it's about. So anyway, this is a whole rant that ain't got nothing to do with none of the stuff we're mainly talking. Went way off on a tangent, but I hope it was still beneficial for y'all to hear this and to kind of get some of these gems and nuggets, because it inspired me. Like this stuff inspired me in life. Journey says, "Plain James, I need to be like that when I grow up." Yeah, calling a Rolex, being in the gym with a Rolex on, and just being like, "Oh, this is a plain Jane." Like I have a couple friends. They work out in the gym with Richard Milles on. If anybody knows a Richard Mille watch, those watches cost $500,000. They literally are in the gym. They're in the gym sweating with a watch on that costs the price of a nice suburban home. Crazy stuff. Like, crazy stuff, y'all. Like, money is not real. It's really not. And so, but the goal is to help all of us level up. All I need is my plain Jane wearable glass. Yes, my plain Jane wearable AI glasses from Better Boost, from Ash and Better Boost.
Right.
I'll read the room. That's funny.
Right.
That's funny. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. I love hearing these types of stories. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, my pleasure. You know, I'll probably in the future, separate from this, I'll probably share more stories. I usually don't talk about the levels of the people that I hang around because I know most of my audience are just trying to get to six figures or are just at six figures a year. And sometimes if you talk about money that's so big, people on social media think you're lying. They think you're capping. It's like, it's funny. It's like we know billionaires exist, but then people can't believe that somebody's making $500,000 a year because they see them on social media or they're like, oh, you're making $500,000 a month. No way, that's a lie. And what's funny, people expect you to just be in helicopters all day. But believe it or not, once you get to a certain amount of money, you realize there's not that much stuff to buy, actually. It's actually kind of funny. It's like you realize, like, wait, there's not much stuff to buy. It's like once you're rich, a helicopter, a boat, or a private jet, a boat, but even then, a private jet, you probably need to be making about $50 to $100 million a year if you don't get a private jet, believe it or not. Because the cost to keep it and to pay the pilot, same thing for a boat. Like to dock a boat, docking a boat costs thousands of dollars a day. So you're losing thousands of dollars. So you got to be making a lot of money, y'all. Mm-hmm. So again, so hopefully, you know, the audience of people will be ready for like more kind of higher level conversations and stuff like that. And so, anyway, my intention is to crack the wealth code right now. I'm actively brainstorming to figure that out. What do I have to do? What am I missing? What do I not see? That's the perfect way to think. That's you have to be thinking, what can I do? How can I make this happen? There's a book that I read. I think it's called How to Think and Grow Rich. It's either that or it's either that one or it's I think it's How to Think and Grow Rich. The first chapter of the book, I actually stopped reading it. I was Lyft driving. I stopped reading it because it was starting out saying like, yo, you have to be obsessive about being rich and being wealthy. You have to be obsessive. And my Christian background couldn't handle it. I was like, whoa. He was like, you have to be obsessed with money. You have to be obsessed. And I was like, whoa. Like it felt uncomfortable for me to hear. So I stopped listening to it. I went and listened to another book. But then I heard a few people reference that book, and I was like, man, let me go back to it. And I went back to it, and then for some reason, I was able to absorb it. I was able to filter it better, I should say. So I was able to filter it from being like, okay, I'm not going to be necessarily obsessed with money, but I need to be constantly thinking, how can I? And I'm going to be real with y'all. In my opinion, the best way to become successful is to help people. And that's the straight up truth. And I want to say this in a clear way. The problem that a lot of our community has, whether we're talking Black people, whether we're talking church people, is that we feel bad for getting paid to help people. Like we feel like it's supposed to be a charity. But no, that's not the case. Like Jeff Bezos is helping a lot of people with Amazon. His service is hugely helpful to business owners and individuals alike. You know, love him or hate him, Elon Musk has helped a lot of people through his business and service. He's hurt a lot of people too, let's be clear. But the best way to make a lot of money is to help people. And so, honestly, and so be unashamed about charging to help people. Because if you truly are helping people, then you charging is only a way for you to now employ more people and pay for certain systems to where you can help even more people now. You can replicate yourself because you're able to hire a staff and hire a team that can now help more people. And so it's like with our boot camp. Like I've seen a couple of people, because our boot camp, for those who don't know, our boot camp is between $4,000 and $6,000. We got payment plans, all that stuff. I've seen some people be like, oh man, that's a bit pricey, whatever. Which literally, if you look up the average price of a boot camp, the average price of a boot camp is actually $15,000. So it's like, no, we're actually really low in the market. But they're like, oh, that's really pricey. I asked someone one time, I said, okay, how much do you think the boot camp should be? And they were like, I mean, man, like, like a few $100s. I said like 500. They're like, yeah. I said, okay, cool. I said, okay, so how am I supposed to pay the instructors who all make six figures working in tech? They're doing this on their side. How am I supposed to pay them? Also, all the systems that you use when you go to our website, when you go to our Calendly, our HubSpot, which is our CRM behind the scenes, that cost me all of it together cost me about $5,000 a month. How am I supposed to pay for that? And I was like, the recruiters that are helping you with job placement assistance, that are helping you get jobs on the back end. I was like, how am I going to, like, how do you pay them? And it's like, and then people start realizing, oh, snap. Like, and it's like, yeah, don't be ashamed to charge money for something in a good amount that's healthy for you. So that being said, y'all better jump in on the price of the Better Boost glasses right now, on those AI glasses right now, because in the future, when the price skyrockets and they cost $5,000 a pair, you can't feel no type of way. So y'all better jump in now while the getting is good with the technology. Yeah. So anyway, off all of this stuff, we're about to wrap up soon. We're about to wrap up soon. We're gonna go through some of these comments and we'll wrap up. And so now for real, your story is real. It wasn't like this, so it hit different to see it. It's motivation. Appreciate that, Woo. Appreciate that, Woo. I love to hear the inspirational stories. The maintenance on private jets and yachts is bananas. Yeah, it's insane. Not to mention, if you have a real yacht, like a real big boat, you have to have someone who lives on it. So now you're paying someone a full-time daily living wage for their life to be on the boat. Like, you're literally paying for a person's life to live there. And that's where they live. Thank you guys, because y'all don't have to do this stuff, and this is very informational. This is not your everyday stuff. This is not your everyday stuff people are talking about, especially people of color. So thank y'all. I appreciate you for being here. Yeah, that's the goal, y'all. Is to help people see something different, hear different stuff with technology, with AI, with robotics, with money, with things that are happening in the government. Because yeah, we need to talk more about this stuff. Journey, my self-love says no survivors or more here. To help others, you got to help yourself first. Yeah, the more you help others, the more you help yourself as well. Exactly. Yeah, thank you, King 7. Hit the like button, chat. Everybody, please hit the like button. You know what? I'm gonna create an automation that every 5 minutes is gonna say hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I'm gonna have an automation go up here. Appreciate that, King 7. Yes, y'all, please smash that like button for us. Dearly. All right, good stuff. So look, Ash, I'm gonna allow you to close it out either with some tech news or something you want to leave the people with, since I don't went on 20 different long rants.
Okay, pleasure. Let's go ahead and hop into some global news, you guys, some things that are going to affect the entire world. So, all right, this is going to be specifically about OpenAI. So they launched a global initiative called OpenAI for Countries. Now, this is aimed at supporting nations in developing AI infrastructure and promoting the use of AI rooted in democratic values. So the initiative is focusing on partnerships to build and operate data centers, delivering localized versions of ChatGPT, particularly targeting improvements in healthcare and education. So OpenAI is making global moves to dominate the AI space, in summary, right? And so what does this mean? The bottom line is, number one, global reach. So we can look forward to having expanded AI accessibility in diverse markets, but also localized solutions. So this means that there's going to be tailored AI applications to specific regional needs. Now, this is insane for a few different reasons. So this is going to empower countries themselves to develop AI aligned with their values, but also we do have to discuss how it promotes ethical, responsible AI worldwide. So I'm gonna pass it back to you, Cyrus. What do you think about this news?
First off, that's crazy. I didn't know about this. That's impressive. I think it's great because this democratizes creativity. Because one of the reasons why America is number one, you know, that's being argued right now. But one of the reasons why America is number one is two reasons. One, our culture is a culture of like inspiration, where it's like you just believe you could do anything. And so we kind of have like this limitless belief, and it's kind of an arrogance about ourselves in a way that allows us just to believe big and dream big. Also, obviously, we have opportunities that a lot of other nations don't have. But we also have privilege to certain technology. Like in other countries, a lot of y'all don't know this, the reason why in a lot of countries it's hard to get a tech job is because a lot of countries don't want you to work for an American tech company. And so that's like a very common thing. Very common thing. Like, for instance, in Ukraine, but right before the war happened in Ukraine, the same year the war started in Ukraine, I met with a coworker who was living in Ukraine when I was working at Dialpad. We had a virtual meeting. And he explained to me, like, yeah, we're legally not allowed to work for U.S. companies. So instead, he said, you have to go through a staffing company. So you go through a staffing company that gets you jobs with American companies. But the thing is that you're not getting paid from the American company. The American company pays the staffing company. The staffing company pays you. So it's like a backdoor way. So he's like, yeah, but Ukraine, at the time at least, Ukraine was like, yeah, you can't work for an American company. And so because the idea is that they want to support their own companies. So they're like, no, you're going to work at the companies here to help our companies grow and develop. That being said, it's really stifled a lot of the development of other countries' technology, because when people in that country don't have access to certain technology, or they don't have access to certain careers, they don't have access, the government isn't supporting them if they want to start a tech business. When all of that stuff is happening, it caps people in terms of what they're able to do and how they're able to grow and develop. So I think this development with OpenAI, I think most countries are going to be more open, no pun intended, but it could be a pun if you want to take it there. I believe countries are going to be more open to allowing OpenAI to come in with their AI than they would other companies. The reason why is because these other countries are going to realize that if they don't, to some capacity, allow AI to come in, they're going to be in the prehistoric era. Like, already a lot of these countries are third world countries, but they're going to understand they can't afford to be triple lapped, quadruple lapped by countries that are using AI. It's almost the difference between a tribe that refuses to use cell phones and guns and cars and planes, and they want to compete with us. It's like laughable. It's like, y'all got y'all little sticks and bow and arrows and y'all trying to come at us. And so it's almost like it would be like that in terms of how fast we would advance versus countries that aren't using the technology. And so, I mean, think of it this way. It's like when you watch a movie about a time traveler from going into the past and giving people technology that seriously advances them past their time. So essentially, imagine if only half the world got that technology from the future and the other half didn't. How it would cause one side of the world to just explode in advancements, and the other side would be living in a prehistoric era. I believe other countries, even the terrible countries that treat their people poorly and don't allow a lot of opportunity, I believe they're going to embrace this model that Sam Altman is doing, because they're not going to want to be left that far behind. They don't want to be a fifth world country, let alone a third world country. So those are my thoughts. I want to see what Ash, I'm curious, how do you feel about it? I know you shared the news, but like, how do you feel about it exactly? And what do y'all think about it in the chat?
Yeah, well, I hope I'm not frozen. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you're frozen, but we can hear you. It's a nice freeze. Like, you have like a nice smile. Yes, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So I think that this is revolutionary. So to give everyone access to AI is truly going to democratize the future. So this means that almost anybody across the globe can build startup businesses and have access to this advanced technology that's going to take everyone's life. This side would mostly be in alignment with not only, ethics and security, which is, borderline face level stuff. However, going to be beautiful. And OpenAI has taken a major leap in making it happen for all of us. So personally, ChatGPT system is one of my favorite LLMs to actually use. So,
Oh dang, Ash dropped off. All right, well, let me look at the chat real quick while we're waiting for her to come back in. Does Ash have a platform or channel she discusses technology? Yes, on her Instagram page. She doesn't have a website, or not a website. She doesn't have like her own channel or YouTube channel that she's utilizing yet. But eventually that is going to change in the future. I'm going to let y'all know what I think is about to happen. Once the AI trading is making me a certain amount of money passively, I'm probably going to quit my tech job. And then what I'm going to do daily is I'm going to report on tech news daily. And so y'all are going to hear more of this stuff every single day. Ash, you can continue on with what you were saying.
My bad, you guys. Technical difficulties.
You're fine.
However, the bottom line is that this is a great move, not only for everyone in the world, but also for OpenAI. And so we see how they're making moves to be the dominant player, which does require some regulation and conversation on the back end, but also the entire the notion of democratizing artificial intelligence is so necessary. And so I have to give them their props. So I'm personally excited to see a future where everyone around the world, no matter where they're at, is going to be able to build innovative solutions to make a better world. So yeah, I think that you guys have some great comments here. So let's go ahead and touch upon that. All right. So question is, does Ash have a platform or channel she discusses technology? Woo TV, he knows me so well. He answered this and said that I am shy, and I am. So I'm like working my way up for confidence to be able to do that. But like eventually, you guys, Cyrus has been, an amazing partner. So we'll see about, having something like that in the future. But
Ash is the most amazing shy person I've ever met. She's so amazing. It's crazy that she's shy.
Thank you. So always says, that's excellent advice, Cyrus. I know one of my purposes is to help people. So that's where my mind is going. Figure out how to monetize efficiently my talents so they may meet my purpose. Absolutely. Exactly. Yep. We got to use what we do best to be able to take this and, build on the back end, build solutions.
One tip for people is when you're thinking of starting a business, an AI business or a tech business, you don't have to create something new. There's a problem that people have where they think that you create something and then you look up and you're like, oh, somebody already started this. Mm-hmm. If they started it, look at what they're doing and see if they're making money from it. If they're successful, that's a sign you should do it. Believe it or not, investors don't like investing in new ideas. They like investing in proven ideas. They love it when you're in a market where you have like 2 or 3 competitors and it's so that way it's proven. And now what they'll want you to do, either one, they'll want you to be in a market that's still relatively new, so there's a large market share you can still get, or 2, they want you to have a unique approach that the other people don't currently have. So that's all you need to do. So I want to be very clear, because I don't want anybody thinking that you have to conjure up a way yourself. You can also look at things that exist and be like, okay, I think they could do this and this and this or make them better. I can create something around this that's unique. And many times your entire business can be the thing that another business is missing. And then you can sell your business to that larger business, which is a whole nother thing. I know our community talks about trying to keep a business and pass it down to your kids. Newsflash, that's not the smartest business model. Like most business owners that do that, most people that do that, the business fails. At least by the 3rd generation, the business doesn't exist anymore. That's why we see the biggest business models right now is building a business, scaling it, and selling it, either selling part of it or part of the equity. Like Jeff Bezos owns less than 10% of Amazon. He owns less than 10% of Amazon.
Yeah.
And so like that's literally him selling Amazon away. He sold it away piece by piece. And so there's a quote from Jay-Z. Jay-Z says, I would rather own 1% of $1 billion than own 100% of nothing. And so basically saying I would rather sell 99% of my business away and it becomes more successful with those people
than me keep the full ownership and it don't go nowhere. So that's another conversation we're going to have in the future with some different business owners as they talk about the equity that they gave up in their business.
Right.
How can we get more news from Ash? Does she have a platform? I guess Ash kind of addressed that already.
Yeah, if you guys
Ash,
want to follow me, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you can go ahead.
Yeah, tap in. I mean, both our Instagrams are right here, so definitely give us both a follow. But on LinkedIn as well, you can follow me or connect with me at Ashley Robinson. You can find me at Ashley Robinson PWC. I should pop right up in a red dress. Would love to connect. I'm also sending a link, you guys, about details specifically. This is basically the product deck for the glasses. So for those of you who've seen the future and are interested in having, first access to augmented reality, smart translation, and AI Gemini Assistant, happy to do a one-on-one. So this is, only first access, invite only. So what we would do is schedule a one-on-one at the link below. So my personal Calendly should be down there. Let's go ahead and discuss your needs and exactly how this product can be the ultimate solution for you. But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate y'all. Let's touch on some of your other questions here and comments. So Nikki says, what is the name of the glasses? This is Better Life Smart Glasses. Company, Better Boost. So if you want to follow us on IG as well, it's like betterboost.tech. So love your support and appreciate all of you guys. Woo TV, hell yeah. Shout out to y'all. Always says, I think that's a fantastic idea, Cyrus. A daily or at least more than once a week tech show, especially, with the Black American perspective is what I want. Cyrus, we're going to have to.
Yeah, that's what that was something I was sharing when you had dropped off. That I think my goal is that once the AI trading is making me a certain amount of money passively, I'll probably say once it's making me at least, I would say weekly. Once it's weekly making me about $10,000 a week. Somewhere probably around $15,000 to $20,000 a week. I feel more comfortable. Once it's doing that consistently, I'm gonna quit my tech job, and I'm going to full time. I'll do it like a daily show like this, where we do daily shows, daily updates, and so my goal is to eventually have Ash on staff, pay her so well that she could quit her tech job too.
Okay.
So that way, so this is the plan. This is the plan, Ash. So we both are able to quit working in tech, and then our full time we will do the daily show of tech news. I'll move back to Atlanta. And
Okay.
we'll have a studio that we do the daily tech news in. And we'll have special guests that'll come. Arthur can come sometimes. Other people, we'll have special guests that'll come. We'll do the daily tech in a studio with a videographer. It'll be like high production level, like the podcast. We'll do the daily tech news. To monetize it, all we'll need are sponsors, which will be easy because sponsors will go crazy because we have, between the both of us, we have massively huge platform. Individually, we have huge platforms. Collectively, sponsors will go crazy. 2 young Black people talking about tech, talking about AI. Both of us are already tapped into the industry. We could easily get different tech companies and people we know to help out with sponsorship. So we'll get sponsors to cover all of it monetarily. We could probably, from the sponsors, we could probably get about $100,000 a month just from the sponsors. And then that's how we're able to like cover the cost, cover payroll, all of that. Okay. And then literally we do that. But then once a week, we can have a startup. We can have like a not a spinoff show. We can have like a separate segment where we have a tech founder, like a startup founder who just got funded. Maybe they just raised 10 million or 50 million. Maybe they got a $500 million valuation. And we seek those people where their business is still new, but they just got a valuation of $200-300 million. You know, they're generating $30 million a year. We get them, bring them on, interview them, and they talk about their story, what they went through, how they came up with the idea, how they built the business, and everybody can tune in streaming like this. So that's the play. That's the play. That's the play we're gonna run. We're gonna be the first. That's the play. That's the play we're gonna run. And y'all mark my words. This is gonna happen. We are gonna do this, y'all. Watch. But again, hit the like button, because the like button supporting us, telling people about the platform is what helps us elevate, helps us grow to where we're able to do it. And again, it all serves back to the community to help more people elevate. I've always said, I actually mentioned to Ash a few months ago that she should get her YouTube up and running and post tech news. She kill it like gangbusters. I agree entirely. Let's make it happen. Definitely. And what we'll do, that one segment in the week where we have a founder, we'll make that like a live studio audience. So we'll make it to where it'll be limited, but it's like people will be able to get tickets. It'll be something like real light. But we have like a live studio audience to where like 50 or 100 people, 150 people can come, and then could be there, could ask questions live in person. It'll be a networking mixer. It'll be all of that together.
Like Oprah's show, like you get funding, you get AI.
Literally. Let's definitely do that. Hey, y'all seeing how the wheels and stuff be turning. Y'all see how the wheels be turning. No, but we're definitely gonna do this. Because we have to do a daily tech show. We just have to. Because doing it weekly is fun and cool, but doing it daily, where every day people are getting updates, y'all able to tune in. Magical. Wu TV says, no fam, you need an AI audience. Yeah, that's true. Have a bunch of robots sitting in the audience. That's hilarious. Well, look, y'all, we'll be like the Jerry Springer of tech. That's hilarious. Y'all are funny. Well, look, y'all, we're about to go ahead and wrap up. Appreciate y'all so much for being here. Before you leave out, please make sure you hit the like button. For everybody here who needs AI consultation or you want AI consultation, make sure you are clicking the link below in the description, because the automation isn't automated right now. So make sure you click the link in the description so that way you can tap in with Ash, get your consultation with her. For those of y'all that want funding and you believe you qualify for the funding, go ahead, same thing, click the link in the description below. Or if you're on YouTube, if you look in the chat, you'll see the link for the funding in the chat. If you don't qualify, we have AI credit repair solution. We're working on a financing partner to help be able to finance, so that way nobody has to pay anything out of pocket for the credit repair solution to get your credit up so you qualify. So we should have that deal locked in about a week or two. So if you believe you qualify, go ahead and get the funding, because you literally will have the money in your account within about 24 to 48 hours. The funding process is pretty quick once you actually start it. Look, y'all. Outside, I appreciate y'all for being here. Again, make sure y'all smashing that like button. Yeah, we went 3 hours. Yeah, we went crazy today. Smash that like button, y'all. We appreciate it very, very much. And aside from that, Ash, I'll allow you to kind of leave people with whatever word or quote or phrase or inspiration you want to leave them with.
Well, I always like to say that everybody here is a genius. So I really appreciate everyone's insights and comments and engagement. I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the next stream. But other than that, let's go ahead and work together to build a better world. Without further ado, if you're not already in tech, you already know what to do. Tap the link below. We got you.
Good stuff. Thank y'all. Love y'all. God bless.
Appreciate you always. Love.